Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the 69th Annual Florida Athletic Coaches Association High School. I'm Kyle Copel alongside my broadcast partner Drew Charltree and Cody Hills, who's working for us on the sideline. Well, Drew, it's a windy but beautiful sunny day here for some football action at the H.G. Morse Range in the Villages, Florida, and we have some incredible talent who are going to be competing here this afternoon.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for a better day. Couldn't have asked for a better matchup between the North and South All-Stars here in Central Florida, converging here on the Villages in Middleton. Super exciting to see this game every single year. Excited to have it back in the Villages once again. And the talent this year really stacks up nicely for both sides. Excited to see these teams get things underway here.
Should be a great afternoon for a football game. And again, mentioning some of that talent, we have a lot of kids that are already signed, going to D1 colleges, D2s, and we'll talk about some of those kids, and we'll also get the introductions of the teams. If you're wondering who the teams are, the North team going to be in blue this afternoon.
The FACA reminds you that interscholastic events are an extension of the classroom and that lessons are best learned when proper respect is accorded to all. Please let your good sportsmanship show as you watch today's game.
Let's talk about some of the players, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely loaded with talent all up and down both rosters. But when you look at some of the highlights, I think maybe the most talented player in this game, or maybe at least the best prospect heading into the college ranks, is DeAndre Desenor out of Port Orange, Atlantic. He's going to West Virginia next year. This guy racked up a ton of yards. He's a powerful and fast running back. Super, super exciting to see. And then on the north side, you can kind of take your pick all up and down this roster. There's a lot of talent, a lot of it coming from kind of hidden gem type high school football programs.
This All-Star Classic
really exciting. But Tyson Carter, wide receiver out of Edgewater in Orlando, who's going to Florida International. That's a player that I'm going to be watching all game long today.
And the South All-Stars are coached by Sammy Brown
that
of Fort Myers,
You got
Dunbar
Uriah
High School.
Maynard, who is a local here from East Ridge High School. Uriah had 1,285 yards, 207 carries, and 10 touchdowns this season.
Yep,
so
they're ready, Marty.
Yeah, excited to talk about more of these players as this game goes along. We got to head down to the field for introductions, but super excited to get this FACA All-Star game underway. All
right, so we're going to head down to the field, and we're going to get this thing kicked off the right way. Welcome to the 2024 FACA All-Star Classic.
Let's meet the teams. First from the South.
Kendarius Green, Dunbar High School. Tyson Carter, Edgewater.
Speak into it. DeAndre Desenor, Atlantic High School.
Alex Wilson, Wikiwachi.
Speak up.
Jeremy Ware Jr., Dunbar High School. Wells Bettenhausen, Walton High School. James Littlefour, Bishop Royal High School.
Sean Martin, Danella High School.
Kevin Mason, Sebring, Florida.
DJ McCoy from Taylor County High School.
Jeff Jones, St. Petersburg High School. Uriah Maynard, East Ridge High School.
Chartrell Jenkins, Cypress Lake High School.
Maurice Adams Jr., Florida High School.
Adrian Scott, Norfolk Myers High School.
Sammy Freitas, Mosley High School. Ike Perry, Port Charlotte High School.
Christian Neptune, Tate High School.
Kalonji Hamilton, Dunbar High School.
Gavin Jenkins, Union County, Florida.
Brogan Wilbur, Jupiter, Florida.
Krishan Jones, Escambia High School.
Javaris Lepar, Island Coast High School.
Reginald Adams, Chiefland High School. Marshawn McKinley, Victory Christian Academy. Tristan Kelly, Impact.
Alontae Smith, Santa Lucia High School. Jack Massey, Mosley High School.
Amari Carroll, Pinellas Park High School.
Seth Chestnut, Baker County High School.
Vaughn Lennon, Fort Myers High School.
Michael Goodell, Chiefland High School.
Madrid Tucker, Fort Myers High School.
Cole Allball, Florida State University Schools.
Lincoln Graff, Atlanta High School. Nash Shears, McClay School.
Jesse Wilson, Mariner High School.
Jason McDaniel, Madison County.
Darian Jones, Cape Coral High School.
Marco Rogers, Florida High School. Anthony Mystery, North Broward Prep.
MJ Mitchell, Lake Brantley High School.
Rashad Taylor, South Fort Myers High School. Dion Winstead, Mandarin High School. Trey Berry, Lincoln Christian School.
William Marzoff, Edgewater High School. Hill Durfee, Riverview High School.
Josiah Farmer, Vanguard High School.
Aaron Bradley Jr., St. Petersburg High School.
Javage Roberts, Clay High School. Eddie Holly, Coral Shores High School.
Dylan Donahoe, Denellen High School.
Jacob Taylor, Eastlake High School.
Marquis Harrison, Village Charter High School. Kevon Johnson, Hillsborough High School.
Jason Lee, Southlake High School.
Kenan Saunders, Palm Beach Gardens High School.
Darius Moore, First Coast High School.
Nick Acosta, Santa Lucia High School.
Zach Riffle, Pace High School.
James Eugene Lewis, Immokalee High School.
Ramel Parker, Southside High School.
Bauer Smale, Sebring High School.
Jaquaria Harris, Edgewater High School.
Robert Newman, George Jenkins High School.
Cameron De Niro, Arnold High School.
Cade Long, Durant High School.
Aaron Williams, Sneaks High School.
Jack Benitis, Bishop Rowe High School.
Keelan Washington, Walton High School.
Joe DeSantis, Jupiter High School.
Luke Clore, Seabreeze High School.
Ty Conze, Plant High School.
Cole Anderson, Creekside High School. Clifton Sloan Jr., St. Pete High School.
Luke Hayden, Taylor County High School.
Jackson Lee, Vanguard High School.
Tim Copeland, Dunbar High School.
Justin Bland, Wiki-Waukee High School.
Joey Mendez, Cypress Lake High School.
Derek Smith, Vanguard High School.
Tyrone Higgins, Palm Beach Gardens High School.
Jason Griffin, Arnold High School.
Danny Williams, Lakeland Christian School.
Steve Price, Ponte Vedra High School.
Richie Road, Bishop Verot High School.
John Cooper, Franklin County High School.
Brian Helton, Satellite High.
Ricardo Watson, Vanguard High School.
Joshua Smithers, Riverview High School.
Tanner Jones, Port St. Joe High School.
Now the head coaches.
Sam Brown, Dunbar High School.
Edwin Farmer, Vanguard High School. Let's go north side.
Tim Tharp, Palm Beach Gardens High School.
Mike Hickman, Florida High. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more name to announce as part of the North Squad. This fall, a young man who was on the board to play in this game, was a great athlete, tragically passed away during a football game. Chance Gaynor is not here today, but he's playing on God's team, and we're proud to represent him. His parents are here, Gal and JJ Gaynor, his brothers Aiden and TJ, and sister Zeta. And we want to introduce his head coach again, Coach Tanner Jones. If you would join with me in honoring young man number 45, Chance Gaynor.
Just walk down that for a little.
Outstanding tribute, Chance Gaynor and family. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you all to please rise as you're able. Gentlemen, if you move your hats, let's focus our attention on that American flag flying proudly in the breeze in the southwest corner of the range here today. We'll honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
If you guys want to go to me out of break, you can. Whenever, Marty.
Long may our flag wave. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the FACA All-Star Game, an emotional tribute to Chance Gaynor and his entire family that's here. Just a heck of a scene here. I'm Kyle Coppola alongside my broadcast partner, Drew Charltree. Drew, obviously that young man couldn't be with us, but great to see him honored here at the 2024 FACA All-Star Game.
Yeah, great tribute. Certainly, obviously, an emotional and trying situation for Port St. Joe, that entire community, that football team, of course. But huge credit to the FACA for inviting his family down here to still have him recognized, as he would have been a part of that game this season.
Well, it's a beautiful afternoon for a football game. Thanks for joining us. The third member of our crew
Our
is
officials for today's game come to us from the North Florida Officials Association. And they include referee.
A pretty stiff breeze moving east to west. It's going to be coming right towards the press box here. That affects when both coaching staffs were talking about it. Both coaching staffs also talking to their guys pregame about just how much of an experience this is and what an opportunity for both teams. As you guys know, and maybe some of our fans at home, it's sort of a bowl game of sorts, right? I mean, there was activities all throughout the week, whether it was bowling or team meals, of course, multiple practices each day. A really good opportunity for a lot of guys who maybe don't have their future plans to be settled to get some extra work and coaching in, maybe some experience and some exposure as well from the next level. But it does all come down to today. These are two very competitive bunches. You could hear it during the pregame warm-ups field side. There's a little bit to win here. It's not just an exhibition to these guys. Should be a fun one here today in Middleton.
Thank you, Cody. A beautiful afternoon for a football game. And again, a little bit windy here, but we are here at the VHS Athletic Complex at the H.G. Morse Range. The second year
for the South All-Stars.
We have football here at the H.G. Morse Range. It's a beautiful facility, the brand new Villages Charter School, and it's a great place to live and raise a family. Drew, this is a special facility. It's hosted a couple of state championship games as well, and they have future plans for this facility.
Yeah, we had the SSAA championship games here just a couple of weeks ago. Super exciting to host championship football here in the Villages. We also had the Class 1A or 1A Rural, the Consolation Championship was here last week as well. So, I mean, just more and more things coming to this venue. It's exciting for sports fans, exciting for us to get to watch some high-level sports taking place here at this facility. Obviously, it's a beautiful place to host these events. FACA All-Star Classic has been hosted in the Villages for years now, and being able to bring it from the old school at Buffalo Ridge and then upgrade it even further to this place, I think is more fitting of the prestige and the history of this game.
Again, the team's going through the pregame introductions right now, and they are doing the coin toss. The game starting at 1 p.m. Kyle Coppola alongside Drew Charltree. We got just an awesome afternoon for an all-star game on here at the Villages Charter High School. The south is in black and the north is in blue. And a couple of more players that we're going to be mentioning throughout the we got Mike Goodale, an Army West Point commit, so very exciting to see what he's able to do. And of course, we already mentioned Uriah Maynard for the north, and on the south team you got some really good players as well. DeAndre Desanor is committed to West Virginia. He's from Atlantic High School, the 5'9", 175-pound senior. He had a really good year, 714
North squad will be wearing the teal jerseys,
6.6 yards.
and the South squad in the black jerseys. Once again, Jacksonville Jaguars colors.
What he's able to do, Drew.
Thanks to
Any
Jaguar
final
Prep,
thoughts as
our
we're
major
about to
sponsor.
begin? We've had some incredible talent play in this game over the last,
69 years.
69
yeah,
years.
I mean, we can get into it as the game goes along, but if you're not familiar with the names that are here today, there's a good chance you will be at some point. We don't even have time to go through the whole list of NFL All-Stars that have been in this game, but just to give you the highlights, Lamar Jackson, Orlando Franklin, Andre Johnson, Dante Culpepper, Sean Taylor, Anquan Bolden, Sebastian Janikowski, Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, Emmett Smith, Warren Sapp, Danny Cannell, Clinton Portis. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's been just an incredible amount of talent that has played in this format, in this game over the years. And so there's a solid chance that while you're hearing some of these names today, you're going to be hearing them on a lot of Saturdays in the near future, and a good chance you'll be hearing a lot of them on Sunday a little bit further down the road.
The South team has elected to receive, and so they will. And it'll be Kevin Mason back to return along with Madrid Tucker. Kevin Mason, he's committed to Delaware. He's from Sebring High School, 1,786 rushing yards in his career. He was absolutely fantastic. And then you also have Madrid Tucker from Fort Myers, and he's going to be back there for the South. The kicker for the North is going to be, I believe that's number 17, Cole Alba. Cole Alba, 111 PATs. This kid's really good. 52 yards was his long this season, and he had 153 total career points.
Yeah, really, really good kickers in this game. Actually, very excited, surprisingly, to see them play today. But I'm really interested to watch the kicking because of the conditions that Cody talked about down on the field, that stiff breeze. These are two of the best kickers in the state of Florida, obviously being in this game, but they've both been exceptional over their careers. I'm glad that we get to see them in slightly adverse conditions and see what they're able to do fighting against some of this wind here today.
I can imagine this one is going to be returned.
Number 9,
winds blowing 20 to 25 miles per hour to the south. So yeah, it is blowing heavily right now. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to dump this one into the end zone. We'll find out.
And this kick will be into the wind, so this will be interesting to watch what kind of field position the South gets. I love the decision by the South to take the ball first. This is a really high-powered, extremely explosive team on offense, and I think it was a good call for them. They're going to get this ball. They're trying to score first, obviously, but I think that they like their odds of coming out with the game script that they were able to develop over the week.
All right, here we go. The 69th annual North versus South FACA All-Star Game is underway. And it's returned by Chartrell Jenkins, and he gets out to about the 30-yard line, and that's where the South is going to set up, and we're going to see for the first time coming out here tonight, it's going to be Lincoln Graff who's getting the start for the South.
Well, two quarterbacks for the South today, very different styles. Lincoln Graff out of Atlantic, 3-year starter, played all 4 years on the varsity team over there at Atlantic, racked up 3,487 yards this year, so he's able to sling it. I mean, he's a high-volume completion type of guy, completed more than 73% of his passes this year, so he's extremely accurate.
First and 10
really
for the
interested to
South
see how
All-Stars
things
from
get
the 30.
underway for the South here as we get started. Jeffrey Jones, though, next to him in the backfield, the other quarterback. He's going to play running back in college. We'll talk about him a little bit more in a minute, but I love them coming out with both quarterbacks on the field to start this game.
Jeffrey Jones Jr., a dual threat quarterback, and he had 3,100 career total yards, 38 touchdowns, and most of those touchdowns coming via on the ground. Not much yardage gain there. He's tackled by number 14, Jack Massey.
Jeffrey Jones
takes
Jr.
a loss right there. Good swarm by the North, just kind of blowing things up right from the jump.
Tripped up by number 34,
I think you kind of had to expect
from
when you come out with
Denellen.
the two quarterbacks there, you're probably going to try to get something going between them. Obviously, the handoff right there didn't get them much, but I think that the South has to go to the air. They've got so much strength in the receiving core. You also have a ton of running options. I'll be more interested to see when it's Jeffrey Jones and DeAndre Desenor on the field together because of the kind of run versatility they'll have between the two of them.
Graff in the shotgun formation has Desenor behind him, fakes to Desenor, and gets it over to the left sideline, and that's going to be complete over to Javaris Lappert.
Graff's pass complete.
That's
to
number
Liepart.
17, Madrid Tucker from Fort Myers.
And number 4, Sean Martin from Denellen High.
Who is
on
back
the
there
stop
to
that
receive
time.
the kickoff.
They
One
picked
of
up
the
about
deep
8 on
backs
the play. 3rd and 2 for the South All-Stars.
You see right there some of that shiftiness as he starts that inside, cuts it outside. So good in the return game because of that change of direction ability. Now, though, the South already faced with a critical pickup. 3rd and short here.
3rd and short. See if they give Desenor a try here. And it's going to be a handoff right up the middle to Desnor, and he is met right at the line by Jarvis Roberts from Clay High School. He goes nowhere, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 2.
Not much room
Solid
that
defense
time.
by the North. We can see the strength on that
First to
defensive
arrive
line
on the scene,
already.
33,
Held up against 2 really
Roberts from
strong
Clay High
runners.
School.
Both of these players, again,
And that
going to play
brings up
college
4th
football.
down.
Desnor and Jeffrey Jones are going to be really, really good college running backs. And the North, you know, those big boys up front. I think
Punt
when you
formation
talk
for
about
the South,
football
number
in the
16,
north half of
Vaughn
the state
Lennon
of Florida,
from Fort Myers.
it's run the ball and stop the run. And so I think the North is going to rely heavily
Back
on that
deep for the
identity
North,
today.
Sean
And they're going to pride
Martin from
themselves on
Denellen,
not
number 4.
allowing the South to really get the ground game going. And so I think that'll be key if the South can establish the run against this larger North side.
On to punt is Vaughn Lennon, and back to return is Sean Martin. And this one nearly got blocked, but here comes Martin. He returns it at the 20. Martin's a quick returner. He's already up to the 30, trying to get up to the 40. And that's a nice return by Sean Martin.
Yeah, got it out to about the 34.
Brought it back
I think he had a
about
little bit more
16
space
yards.
to the outside, tried to cut it back in, but didn't
Shot
have a lot
down
of
by
room right
number
there.
82,
But
Ty
set them up right
Conze
at
from
35
Flint
to
High
start
School.
things off, so
Conze
not bad
on the
position
stop.
for the North to take over their first offensive possession.
Sean Martin used as a defensive back from Denellen High School, the 5'11", 185-pound defensive back, also a return specialist. So great to see him getting some action there. Denellen, of course, right up the road from us. A couple of hometown
And the North
boys
squad
that are in
takes
this
over.
one.
First
down
and 10
on the
from their
35-yard line.
35.
First time for the North. And we're going to be seeing quarterback Sammy Freitas get the start.
Well, the North had 2 choices, and I mean, pretty similar styles. Wells Bettman and Sammy Freitas both pass-first quarterbacks. And, oh, they're going to go with a double pass here to start things off.
He spins out of it and chucks it downfield. The ball's bobbled, nearly picked off. The intended target, I believe, all the way downfield was Reggie Adams.
Freitas of Mosley High.
So a little trickery to begin things here for the North.
Well, I like the North coming out aggressive. I don't know that I love that particular play with the backwards pass. You got a lot of speed on this South defense, and so if you're going to roll the ball out, you're not going to have a lot of time to do much. It was a good job right there by Sammy Freitas to kind of get the play away. But, I mean, yeah, both teams going with 2 QBs on the first play of the game. Interesting for the North to try to go with the trick play. I like the aggression, though, starting things off from Edwin Farmer out of Vanguard. So interested to see how that goes the rest of the way.
Freitas going to hand it off to McDaniel. And Daniel's met by Chartrell Jenkins from Cypress Lake. And you got to love what you see out of number 7 for the South. Chartrell Jenkins, he is a 6', 190-pound senior. He made 144 total tackles this year, 3 interceptions, and 13 tackles for a loss.
Yeah, really, really strong two-way player. Of course, the high school level, you know, the best players guys are going to college. You have such a hard time taking them off the field, but great offensive player as well. Just speaks to the athleticism, the talent that he has. And I'm excited to watch him here today. He's such a fun matchup for a lot of different guys on this North roster.
Brings up a 3rd down and 7 for the North. Freitas in the shotgun formation, spread formation, looks downfield. It's going to be complete, and that's complete over to number 3.
That first tackle, getting across the sticks, did a good job to stay in bounds as well. Just the strength right there of that run. Really, really good work right there from the young fellow from the Panhandle.
Lake forced him out of bounds. First and 10
play
North
right there being
from the
forced
48.
out of bounds. And again, in there on the tackle was Jenkins. Jenkins got to be a force all game long, but that brings up a 1st down and 10, the first down of the game for either team. Freitas hands it off up the middle to McDaniel, going nowhere. And a game of maybe
The give to
2
Jason
on the play. The
McDaniel.
tackle was made by Hal Durfree from Riverview.
Punch it just into the South territory,
Again,
about the 49.
The identity of so many teams in this half of the state is being strong on the ground and being strong against the run game. I think that they do want to establish that identity. They've got these quarterbacks that can air it out, and I think that we'll really see them kind of set Wells Bettenhausen loose when he's in. They're going to alternate
Gain of
possessions
3 on the
with
play, 2nd and
quarterbacks.
7.
But man, I really do think that Coach Farmer wants to get a strong run game going in this one.
2nd down and 7. Freitas. Got to take it himself up the middle. And he gains a couple of yards on the play.
Bettenhausen fake the
Brought
handoff.
down by number 34, Aaron Bradley from St. Petersburg.
That's such a good
Tackled by
use
number
of the play
34,
action right
Ariane
there.
Bradley of St. Pete.
You get that fake
Head coach
to
Patrick
McDaniel.
Harrington.
I don't think that anyone's expecting them to run the ball
Picked up 5 on
with
that play.
Freitas. You know, he's got some runs on the season, but certainly not a quarterback that you expect to get a lot done on the ground. And so he gets them into a 3rd manageable right there. I think that's just a great time to go with the play action. Really, really smart play calling. And you need to use devices like that to get yourself into a good position when you've got these short weeks to kind of get things working.
Right, Drew, here's a give up the middle. And a big defensive effort by the South. And that's going to bring up a 4th down in there as Ty Cons from Plant High School. Also in on the stop was Hal Durfee.
4th down for the North
Winstead
squad.
just had nowhere to go right here. Look at this,
4th
the
and 4.
pocket is blown up. The line is on their heels. No push up front. The South just standing strong and eventually tips it backwards. Yeah, again, Dion Winstead, running back out of Mandarin in Jacksonville, had a great season, but no space to run. Now the North, though, going to go for it on 4th down right here as they're still in about a 4th and 3. And so another big play already in this game.
4th down and 4. Nine minutes remain in the first quarter. Both teams have been able to feel each other out early on here. And we have a timeout taken.
Yeah, Freitas trying the hard count. Well, see, it looks like they're going to switch the punt team in. Yeah, they're taking the delay of game penalty, so they're not going to waste the timeout. So.
And quarterback Sammy Freitas and company tried to get him to jump. They would not
Good
bite.
note from our man on the field as
Took
well.
the 5-yard penalty.
The
a little more
North was
room
lined
to
up in
punt.
an illegal formation there, too. So they were taking a penalty either way. So I think the intention the entire time was hard counter punt. Either you get the offsides penalty.
Number 82, Luke
this one away.
Hayden, punt formation for the North.
Brings on Luke Hayden to punt things away for the North squad.
14, Anante Smith, 17, Madrid Tucker back deep for the South.
Also back to return is Anante Smith.
We got a timeout signal on the South side. A little bit of confusion right here as they were getting out there for their first punt return of the game. But it's the type of possession that a football coach never wants to take a timeout on. But again, these players have only been together for a few days with these coaching staffs, and so you're going to see some difficulties in the communications and things like that. And a lot of the procedural penalties are what you're going to see a lot more than you would typically see in a regular football game, and timeouts having to be burned when you're trying to avoid that sort of stuff.
We're going to send it downfield side to Cody Hills. Cody, what's going on down there?
Yeah, I just want to touch on that point, guys. Really good points there by both of you, because obviously it's competitive, but as you guys have talked about a couple times, a very short week of preparation. And I do want to note the interesting contrast, between the two teams in preparation. The South, it seemed all week long, maybe sort of already had the fundamentals down or didn't spend a lot of time, more game plan. The North was more fundamental based and technique based. And I think we're kind of seeing that here early on. I think the South offense a little bit more advanced. A few rules, I know Drew mentioned it. Can't have a linebacker within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage at the snap. That's one for player safety, kind of curtailing some blitzing. And then no tight ends or anyone lined up in a wing. That will result in a legal formation. A couple things to keep it vanilla with that short week of preparation, guys.
Thank you, Cody. 4th down and the punting unit on for the North. This is Luke Hayden who will punt it away. And boy, that one's just hanging up in the sky with the wind. It's going to get a nice little bounce inside the 20-yard line down to the 19. So Luke Hayden did the best he could with that one, Drew.
Yeah, fighting the wind right there. And he did what you need to do in those situations. You need to get some good hang time. At the very least, you can't allow a return. He sends it towards the sideline, but I mean, just nose of the ball straight up pretty much the whole way, hung up there for what felt like forever. And then it gets the friendly bounce at the end. So he puts the South back inside the 20, which is about as good as you could ask him to do right there, given what he was facing with the wind coming back into his face.
So the second time, we'll see the South team back out onto the field.
And they take over
coming out
1st and 10 from the 19.
once again is going to be Lincoln Graff. And again, Lincoln Graff had 40 touchdowns this year for Atlantic High School. Also going to have DeAndre Desanor, the running back. And a throw over the middle. It's complete for a gain of about 5 yards. That was complete to Amari Caro from Pinellas Park. Caro had 1,400 career yards and 11 touchdowns over the course of his career.
And the South going with the play action as well. You'll see right here the nice little fake handoff and the quick throw. That's a play that you got to trust a quarterback. That's one of the advantages. You get quarterbacks with a ton of experience typically in these games. And Lincoln Graff, again, 3-year starter for Atlantic. He has that. So I think that Sammy Brown probably had to be excited that he was going to get a quarterback, that he was going to be able to give a lot of different concepts and stuff. You heard Cody say they'd spent a lot of time on game plan this week. I'm interested to see exactly what Sammy Brown has given his quarterback license to do.
Pitches this one to Mason. Mason cuts up the field up to the 40-yard line. He's brought down by Christian Jones from Escambia, but not before a first down for the Black Squad.
Yeah, big pickup right there by Kevin Mason. I mean, so much speed. You saw him just turn that corner. You get him out in space on a pitch like that, he's going to have all kinds of room, and that's where he really thrives, it feels like. Just a great job on that pitch. Gets him past the first defender, gets a nice block out there as well, and then gets out across the 40, really taking advantage of the space that he was afforded by that pitch.
First down and 10 on the 41-yard line. Graff. And sends this one up the middle to Mason. Mason is committed to Delaware. He's got 1,786 yards rushing in his career.
On that play.
Head coach is LeVar Scott.
Well, he just gave you on those 2 plays just kind of a great encapsulation of his all-around abilities as a running back. The first one gets the pitch, takes it outside, dodges a tackle, picks up a first down. That one goes into the line. It's an inside run. He's got nowhere to go. Manages to push the pile forward for 4. And so just the strength and speed approach of Mason, kind of a complete all-around running back. You got to see it right there in just those 2 plays.
Halfway through this first quarter, second down and 6, Graff. And is going to find a wide open Leppard, but he is met immediately. And tackle made by Javaris Roberts from the play.
Complete to number 13, Myshawn McKinley.
It was actually Myshawn McKinley
number
out
11,
there. He's got the jersey
Jones,
folded up. It's hard to tell the difference between the 12 and the 13. But I do believe that was McKinley out of Victory Christian in Lakeland. That's a kid with a lot of talent. I'm surprised that he doesn't have a solid offer yet. His biggest one is from University of Louisiana Monroe, so chance for him to go D1, but such an athletic and talented player. I think that he's holding out for a little bit better offer because he probably should get one.
Third down and 6 for the South. See what they're able to dial up here. Lincoln Graff rolls off to his left. He's over the middle and now finds an open receiver. That's Leppard, and a first down for the South.
Graff able to square the shoulders, dumped it off to number 12,
Javaris He plays line, or excuse me, he plays fullback and tight end on the offense. A little bit undersized to play tight end at the college level, but just such a smart player, able to move him around the formation a little bit. And again, they showed what they were focused on this week. This is a rollout where it's an option pass, read option pass more or less. And he's got the opportunity right there to just dump that one down to the fullback, sees the opening right there, draws in the defenders, and then gets Leppard the easy first down by holding that one as long as he did.
First down and 10, and oh, look out, here comes big number 73, Aaron Williams from Sneeds.
73, Aaron Williams.
Takes care of the running back there.
First to arrive.
Yeah, Sneeds just, or excuse me, Williams out of Sneeds. Just incredible individual effort right there. Just blows up his block on the right side and gets out there to make the tackle. Just a really, really strong job winning at the line of scrimmage.
Aaron Williams made 136 total tackles in his career, 69 total, and 11 tackles for a loss. So that is a big body in there. Aaron Williams is a 6', 290-pounder, so they'll probably put even more weight on him when he gets to college. But
yeah, prototypical edge prospect, right?
You got to change a quarterback here. And this is going to be pitch over to Leppard. He's tackled by Christian Kelly.
And quarterback Jeffrey Jones Jr. pitched out that time to Leppard.
So Leppard was able to get a couple of yards, but
Number 34,
Also, with the
Dylan
dual
Donahoe
threat
from
ability of
Denellen
Jeffrey
on that
Jones
stop.
Jr., you always have to be careful when he's
Picked
into
up
the
about
game,
3
because
on
you never
that play. It'll be
quite know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I want to see them get a little bit more creative. We've seen in the passing game, they've already done some stuff, again, with the read option QB runs, and we saw or excuse me, that was from the north, but we've seen a couple different plays from the south, but I really do want to see them get into maybe some option stuff with Jeffrey Jones Jr. on the field there. We've got Kevin Mason, and I think that he'd be a nice pair for him just because he can go inside and outside. Also, of course, DeAndre Desenor next to Jeffrey Jones. I'd really be interested to see some of those combinations.
Third down and 11. Graff, pocket collapsing, looks over the middle and finds an open receiver, but it's incomplete. And that was Ike Perry, who he tried to get that out of to Port Charlotte, but it falls incomplete.
Well, it looked like Perry had it initially and then bobbled it. And he thinks he had it, but it did look like it came out, and it's so hard to see from up here if it did hit the ground or not. No replay. I don't think it's going to get overturned here today, but yeah, just such a tough play. And really good job, though, by the quarterback right there, Lincoln Graff, backing up, backtracking, and staying inside the pocket. Though most quarterbacks, especially younger quarterbacks, they're either they're gonna lose track of where the pocket's going, and they're gonna take that hit, or they're just gonna start scrambling to get outside the pocket. He backed up, stepped back in. Really veteran play right there from the senior quarterback.
Von Lennon on to punt. Sean Martin back to return, and this is a boomer. This is going to go right through the end zone. And that's that win that carried that ball at least 10 yards into the end zone. And it's still rolling.
Yeah, you can see the difference, right, in the direction of, or the speed of these punts, the pace. So I'm sure that the special teams coordinator for the North is excited to get turned around in a few minutes when we head to the second quarter and be kicking into that direction. But yeah, neither of these teams have gotten into field goal range yet. So I think that it definitely favors the North. If they can get the shutout here of the South in the first quarter to then get the wind at their backs, I think that sets up nicely for them.
Well, who's ever kicking South today, we could see some records here today. We could see a 60-yarder today, depending on how things work out. But it's a 0-0 game here in the first quarter of the 69th annual FACA All-Star Game. Kyle Coppel alongside Drew Sheltry, and we got Cody Hills down field side. Thank you to our wonderful team who puts this on. It's first down and 10 on the 20. It's going to be a give up to the left side, and not much room. And that was Uriah Maynard from Eastridge High School. 1,285 career yards for Uriah Maynard this season, and 207 carries. He averaged 6.2 yards for Donnie Birchfield's team down at Eastridge High School in Claremont.
Yeah, one of the more exciting local players that we had in the Tri-County area this year. Obviously, Eastridge out there in South Lake County, heard plenty about him and what he was doing out there on the field. And, look for some lanes for him today. Hopefully he gets a chance to pop off in front of the local crowd.
Second down and 9. In a quarterback, as well as Bettenhausen from Walton. Bettenhausen is going to find Maynard, and Maynard makes a cut up the field, and he's going to gain just about 7 yards. So they'll set up a third down and short coming up.
To number 6, Maynard.
Well, he gained about 7 yards from the catch point. Only got about 4 past the line of scrimmage right there. He
3 on that play.
Not a lot of room to work, and managed to turn it into a positive game.
That'll make
there.
it third and 6
overall, a good
for
play,
the North squad.
I really want to see the North kind of turn Bettenhausen loose here. Let him throw down the field. This guy generated explosive plays all season long. So really would like to see them air it out a little bit with him. If they're going to alternate drives, let him do what he does best. He averaged 18.1 yards per attempt this season. So 243 passing yards per game, 29 touchdowns, had 30 passing touchdowns last year. So, I mean, let the guy take to the air. Let him show you what he's got. Got an absolute cannon for an arm. I'd like to see them get a little bit more into the bag in the passing playbook here.
A minute to Lenore Rhines. It's a Division II program, and he's going to get a first down here for Wells Bettenhausen. Again, you mentioned his touchdown, 35 career touchdowns, 224 attempts, 148 completions this year, and he's an exciting player who's going to get an opportunity to start right off the bat at the NCAA Division II level for Lenore Rhines.
Bettenhausen coming off the field. interesting. Okay, now he comes back. He was headed back in, and we saw Christian Neptune coming on, giving him a little high five. I was wondering if they were going to run a little quarterback. I think he was just going over to get
First
the play.
First and 10 north from the 34.
Yeah, we've seen both quarterbacks now pick up first downs with their legs for the North, one by design and one on a nice scramble. So interested to see how versatile these two can be here today.
First down and 10. Here's Maynard up the middle, and he's tackled. Jacob Taylor in there on the tackle. Also in there is Eddie Hawley from Coral Shores, Jacob Taylor from Eastlake.
33, Riverview's Hale Durfee on that stop.
We'll see if the North elects to get another snap. I'm sure they're not too unhappy with switching the fields here as they're going right into the wind right now.
Yeah, I think they might just let these 9 seconds run down as they're still in the huddle. Maybe they'll try to run something and catch the South off guard. It didn't look like they were expecting a play. And that will do it for the first quarter.
So the first quarter is over, and it is a 0-0 game at the H.G. Morse Range on a windy afternoon. We're going to send it down field side to Cody Hills, who's standing by.
Thanks, guys. Here with Sammy Brown, head coach Dunbar High School out of Fort Myers. And, Coach, pretty competitive, close to the vest first quarter. What are your thoughts so far the first 15 minutes?
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a chess match just like it is. I mean, those guys brought out a great product. We just got to match the intensity and try and see how this thing works. Trying to want to keep the ball close, the game close, and at the end have a chance to win it. So right now it's just trying to fill everybody out, get the jitters out from the young guys, and I think we're playing well.
Coach, what's this week been like for you, this experience coaching in this game here again?
It's a great experience. I mean, you get a chance to pull guys from all over the state and see what what kind of things they're learning, and then bring them all together. And then you want to see those guys gel together. So it's been a great week. We had a great coaching staff. I wish I had these guys with me. I mean, these guys are excellent. They put this thing together in 3 or 4 days, and then we're playing fast.
Good luck the rest of the way, Coach.
All right, thanks, boss. Yep.
Thank you, Cody. And I can't say enough good things about Sammy Brown and what he does for that Dunbar program.
Yeah, 8-3 this year, but they played a really, really strong schedule down there in Southwest Florida. You want to talk about the talent that the Tigers went up against this year?
North ball.
7 of the 11 teams that they played are represented in this game here today, as well as 3 Dunbar players on this roster for the South. So, I mean, really a tough schedule, but he leads a great program down there, Sammy Brown.
So give up the middle. In there on the stop again is Eddie Hawley.
Number 24, Dion Winstead.
Ed Hawley is a 6'3", 225-pound linebacker. He wears number 40 for
number
the
90,
South.
St. Pete's Clifton Sloan on that stop.
Tackle
Clifton's
as
coach,
well.
Dennis Gillen.
Clogging up the middle is big number 90, Clifton Sloan from St. Petersburg. He's a 6'2", 295-pounder.
Yeah, just an absolute boulder in the middle of that defensive line. Dion Winstead, a couple tough runs so far today. I'd love to see them get him out in space. And from Mandarin up in Jacksonville, really explosive player when he gets out into the open, but
3rd and 7.
Runs where he's had no real space and no real gaps formed for him by that offensive line. So we'd love to see him get an opportunity to do something with a little bit of room.
3rd down and 7 for the North squad. Bettenhausen rolls back to pass, fires it over and finds Nash Bashirs from McClay. And that's close to a first down.
To number 18,
I think he's just a few yards short. Looks like it's going to bring up 4th down and 3.
Gets in there across the 40-yard line.
That was Dunbar's number 3, Jeremy Ware.
Jeremy Ware, speaking of Dunbar players in this game, coming over and laying the hit, allowing no yards after the catch.
Nash Bashirs from McClay. He had a fantastic career, 2,947 career yards, 159 career receptions,
Tucker
and
back deep for the South
touchdowns for number 18. As the punting unit comes on once again for the North.
82 Hayden, punt formation.
Luke Hayden will punt things down. That one nearly was blocked. So it's going to fall on the 20, and a nice bounce down to about the 15-yard line. Where they'll set up.
And a good job by Mr. Hayden.
With that wind working with him instead of against him right there. That's a good one right there. Get it past the initial return man, and then you got the 2 in the back split, and they just have to wait on that bounce. So good punt right there.
And that was Baker County's Seth
South all the way back
down the ball for the North squad that time.
Field position battle so far here today, but
Seth's coach,
both of these defenses made plays when they've needed to. The offenses have done a good job getting up to or around or just across midfield, but defense is showing up when it counts.
I want to thank all our partners that make it happen. Boosters Bar and Grill, Beef O'Brady's in Colony Plaza, Flippers Pizzeria, Fenny Grill in jersey, Mike's
All-Star ball.
We've got
First
a
and 10
beautiful
from their
afternoon for
15.
some football, slightly windy, but it is a 0-0 game between the North and the South. We've got a good one going on. Here's the South starting at the 15, and blowing a tire there is Jeffrey Jones Jr. Again, the backup quarterback, but also plays running back. He's going to be playing some running back in college.
Mr. Chestnut.
Not much of a gain there.
Yeah, just got tripped up. Looked like he thought he was going to get free right there. He had a hole, and then I didn't see who it was. Someone got a hand on the ankle right there, tripped him up, and stopped what would have been a big gain.
From the 22.
We talked about him more of a danger on the run than on the throw, but you gotta bottle him up when he takes off.
Lincoln Graff, big back end at quarterback. Graff over the middle, complete to Amari Caro. That's close to a first down.
Number 18,
he's going to be short by 2 yards.
Lincoln Graff on the pass that time.
Joaquin Harrison, by the way, with the tackle right there, the local kid from the Villages, just played his senior season on this field a moment ago. You see him right there. Getting on top of that. 111 tackles this year, 9 sacks, a pick 6, and a forced fumble. Absolutely stellar year. Kid who came into the year with no offers, no stars, no recruiting rating from any of the big outlets. So kid who had a lot to prove this year. I think he proved it.
Excited to see what the future holds for him. The South.
Also played his junior season at South Sumter High School. So local boy with a lot of local connections. Great to see Joaquin Harrison out there in his final game here at the H.G. Morse range. This is a nice run up the middle by Desenor.
And off to number 2, DeAndre Desenor from Atlantic High.
Yeah, went with West Virginia over a slew of other options. This kid basically had his choice of where he wanted to play: Colorado, FAU, Florida, and basically every school in Florida offered. And then on top of that, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Liberty, Louisville, Maryland, Miami, NC State, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Oregon. He had an offer from Penn State, Pittsburgh. I mean, college playoff teams, Texas, that were in the running for him, and he chose West Virginia. So interesting to see. Of course, they just announced Rich Rodriguez coming back to coach the Mountaineers there. So interesting to see what comes of DeAndre Desenor in that program.
Graff gets this one complete over
nice
to
flip
McKinley.
That time from Lincoln Graff.
That's a
number 13, Myshawn McKinley from Victory Christian on the reception.
5 coming up for
head coach
the South
Kendrick
team.
Stewart.
And the South team putting together a little bit of a sustained drive. That's something we haven't seen so far really in this game from either squad, but
15,
the South
Seth
on the move.
Chestnut forced them out of bounds after
I really
that 5-yard
like
gain.
Second
and
right
5.
now. You can tell that the South did spend a lot of time on the game planning, and he seems to have grasped a lot of it. I think that he's been really effective so far. Interesting to see, or I'll be interested to see rather, how he continues to manage this game as they get further and further along and go deeper into the playbook.
Graff takes it himself to the 40, up to the 45, to the 50, and he's finally brought down by number 11, Christian Jones, but not
Mr.
before
Graff.
a big-time gain by Lincoln Graff.
I think that's the biggest play of the game right there by yardage. Picks up almost 25 yards on that play.
McCoy
and I want to know if that was a designed fake pitch or if that was something he read. It looked like it could have been either one. He did it so quickly, I believe that it was a designed fake pitch. But also, you know, a veteran starter, maybe he just kind of saw what was going on and recognized what he had and took off. Either way, great gain, and he puts the South in some of their best field position so far.
North showing blitz. This one is given up to the left-hand side. Oh, big hit there by number 7, Maurice Adams from Florida High School. Laying down is Maurice Adams.
Ball carrier, number 5.
236 career tackles for the 6'2", 260-pounder.
Kevin Mason.
By Sneeze, Aaron Williams, number 73.
Got around to the edge, and then all the big fellas making their way over to the outside.
On that play, 2nd and 8.
Love to see that, the hustle from these defensive linemen.
2nd down and 8. Graff in the shotgun formation, spread formation for him. Fakes a handoff and is going to get this one over to Tucker. Complete for a few yards. He's tackled by Jones.
Complete to Fort Myers, number 17, Madrid.
Again,
Tucker.
The play design really, really good. You got Bowers Mahil out of Sebring coming out to make the
by
block on the outside. Watch, he can draw in the 2 defenders, and then there's big number 70 out there trying to make a block. He has a couple extra yards right there for his receiver. Really loving how in-depth this play calling has been for the South so far. And you can talk about the difference in philosophies, and Cody said the North very much focused on the fundamentals, getting everybody kind of in game rhythm, and the South was really focused on play design. And I think that that's a really interesting challenge for a lot of, all these guys are seniors, but I'm really liking how well they're executing the game plan so far.
3rd down and 2. That was Bauer Smile, one of the left tackles for the South.
Delayed game on the offense.
Now you got a delay game on the offense. So these two teams only had a couple of days to put together an offense and a defense. That's pretty challenging, Drew.
Yeah, and especially I think for the offensive players. Defense, you can you basically just run the concepts. Obviously assignments get a little bit tricky, but you come in, everybody knows, okay, you know how to play shell, you know how to play cover 2, we're gonna go with these handful of things. But the offense, again, the South is trying to be really in depth with it, and I will see if that comes to their detriment. They've done it well, but now they've put themselves in a tough position after they had been moving the ball really well.
Graff moves off to his right. This is 3rd down and long. He's going to throw this one downfield. It's nearly picked off by DJ McCoy, and it falls incomplete, so that'll bring up a 4th down, and the punting unit comes on for the South.
Yeah, he was looking for Amari Caro down there. You see things kind of break down in the pocket. He's out there on the run. Short arms it just a little bit, and that's good coverage downfield, trying to force it. But again, at that point, if you throw the interception, you're all the way down there inside the 20. It's not much worse than the punt. But yeah, really would have liked to see what they would have drawn up if they'd stayed in that 3rd and 3. That's why that penalty right there was so crucial. You can't give away yards. It's so hard to come by in a game like this.
That was Sean Martin on the coverage as well. Great job by him, and now he is back to return this punt. Coming in is Vaughn Lennon, who will be kicking into the wind for the first time today, and this one is only going to make it to the 30-yard line, and it's going backwards. It'll be down at the 33, so only a net pickup of about 16 yards there on the punt, kicking into the wind.
Yeah, back spinning punt. We saw him kicking that in warm-ups as well. And when you're kicking it into the wind, you're going to have a really tough time with it. So obviously the conditions not favoring what he's used to doing right there. And so now the North's going to get set up with good field position. That drive looked really promising for the South. Moved the ball really well. I think that penalty really killed them. They were in 4-down territory when you're talking about just over the 50. And when you're working in that 3rd and 3 range, you could really go for both of those plays, 4 downs to pick up the first. And I think that they kind of shot themselves in the foot pretty hard with that penalty.
It's a pass downfield, and it's going to be complete. And no, it's going to be out of play. That was Tyson Carter, and it looked like he was ruled just out of bounds, but that was a great throw by Sammy Freitas.
Yeah, just couldn't get the feet in bounds as he was coming down right there. He's turned back to face the quarterback, and so he's not able to look down at the sideline. And that ball is coming in on his outside shoulder, a little bit behind him. Good throw and a good catch as well. But again, the feet just a problem right there. Tyson Carter, though, I'm excited that they're willing to take some deep shots to him. I highlighted him before the game. Wide receiver at Edgewater in Orlando. He's going to FIU. Really, really dynamic player. You can see he's a little bit taller than most of the players out there. He's listed at 5'11", but man, it feels like he plays bigger than that. Just a really, really exciting player. Great deep threat.
Freitas hands this one off. This is a nice run up the middle for Jason McDaniel, and he's going to have a first down. He was brought down
to 20.
by
Jason
Smith,
McDaniel
that was
from
a big
Madison
pickup.
County.
And Jason McDaniel probably feels pretty fresh right now. Only run a few times so far in this game. He plays at Madison County, known for running the ball pretty much constantly. So this is light work for him today.
31 touchdowns in his career, so he's used to scoring. This one is a backwards pass out of bounds. The intended target was Alex Wilson. It rolls out of play, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
And that's a critical miss right there, because as you said, it was a backwards pass. So the ball will be spotted at the yardage where it went out of bounds. You can't afford to miss on a screen like that.
So that brings up a 2nd down and 14 because it was a backwards pass.
Loss of yardage
and so
on
they
that play.
lose
Ball
4
went out of
yards
bounds
on that play.
42.
That'll back the North team up just slightly here. Still a 0-0 game. 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Again, it is a windy day. Conditions are a factor. 2nd down and 15. Sammy Freitas in the shotgun, looks to his left and looks downfield. Into double coverage, it's nearly picked off.
Oh, the two DBs right there, I think, messed each other up. And
that was Darian Jones. and I believe James Little the fourth. Look at this one. Oh man, a nasty collision. I'm just glad to see them both get up.
Yeah, Darian Jones and I think Darius Green was the other player involved in that one right there. And again, that communication, that kind of feel for where your teammates are that you develop over the course of the season, none of that's here today. You know, all of these players are from different schools, and you know, I'm sure some of them know each other from going against each other or growing up in the same area. I'm sure some of them played on overlapping Pop Warner teams and stuff like that, but you know, you're trying to put together that chemistry quick, and you know, all the talent in the world is no substitution for time together.
And now we get a timeout taken.
Timeout, North.
So this is a timeout taken by the North. They wanted to take a look at what was going on. That was going to be a 3rd down and 14 play. Not too many 3rd down and 14 plays designed in this playbook, but again, it's a playbook that you had to put together within 4 days. But it's been a lot of fun seeing these two defenses go up against each other. But as far as the offense go, it is a challenge to put an offense together in 4 days.
Yeah, I think games like this tend to really favor the defenses. You would think, you know, if you get really talented quarterback, really talented receiver, they can go out and play backyard football. But there is an extent to which, you know, there's so much turnover. You're trying to get so many different guys involved. All of the players on this field earned their right to be here, and the coaches tend to really respect that and try to get everybody playing time. And so it takes a while for the offenses to gel, I think, not just over the week, but even in the game. Guys are going in and out and in and out. And so maybe you'll see at the end of the game, the coaches will say, all right, these are the guys that we're getting it done. We're sticking with them on this final drive because we're trying to win this game. But throughout the game, you're going to see a lot of disjointedness because you're changing the personnel packages. You're changing the quarterback, running backs, wide receivers. They're in and out. So there is a lot of challenge just within this game of really getting an offense going and sustaining drives.
3rd down and 14. Freitas, pocket collapsing, looking downfield. And he finds an open receiver, and that's Tyson Carter. It's going to be a 1st down for the North.
Well, I told you, Tyson Carter, exciting player, big chunk play right there. Great job by Freitas extending that play. Gets all the way to the sideline, loses his momentum there at the edge. Watch, he almost has to go flat-footed and then kind of jumps and sends this thing downfield. Great job by Carter of coming back to the ball, getting himself out there, mirroring his quarterback. That's something that you see a lot of veteran receivers do, but typically they're mirroring guys that they've played with for a year or 2 years. And Tyson Carter just instinctively knowing where to go right there, gets himself in between the DB and the quarterback, gets himself a nice chunk play right there to move the sticks for the North.
1st down and 10 on the 32. This is taken by McDaniel. McDaniel not going anywhere. In there on the tackle is big number 90, Clifton Sloan.
South going up a little bit on the defensive side. They made some big stops. They've not allowed a lot of room for these running backs. I think that the North, as much as they want the identity to be, we're going to win up front, they're going to have to get outside for these backs a little bit. We've seen some of these, you know, screen passes, dump off passes, the outside pitches have worked well for them. They've not gotten a lot up the middle with the running back so far today.
Well, that guy right there, number 90, big number 90, Clifton Sloan, going to be really difficult to run the ball on him today. And you get a couple of other guys out there, including Ty Cons, who's been having a good day so far. That brings up a 2nd down and 8 for Freitas, and we have a stoppage of play here. Looks like potentially a delay of game.
Yeah, and again, the communication, the play calls, the time it takes to process that, trying to read a defense while also, you know, executing, communicating plays that are not yours. It can be really tough, and we've seen the offensive struggle. A couple of these delay game penalties already here today, and those are the kind of, you know, procedural penalties are what you typically see in games like this. And so both of these teams now have taken themselves out of favorable field position. You had a 2nd, and not necessarily short, but 2nd and manageable there. It was about 2nd and 7, and now you're back up into 2nd and double digits. And so this possession just became a whole lot harder. Neither of these teams have been able to get into scoring range, into the red zone, into field goal range so far today. And it's really come down to plays like that.
Freitas on a 2nd down. It's going to be taken. No, he gets out of it momentarily. Oh, his helmet comes off, and he's immediately hit in the head He's going to have to come off for a play, but oh man, I'm just glad to see him okay. He ended up taking a headshot at the end of the play.
So tough, though. I mean, it didn't even look like he really went down at the end. You're going to see it right here. Scrambles, could have been tackled right there for a loss or no gain. Then gets all the way over the sideline, stops, tries to stay in bounds, get a little extra. Yeah, and the collision after the helmet comes off. But, man, stays up.
We're looking at 3rd and 10.
Oh, he was hit by Trey Berry the third.
Yeah. And man, unfortunate timing right there with the helmet coming off right as Berry was coming in to lay some smack on the running quarterback. But we're going to see him head out. Hopefully we'll see him back in soon. Wells Bettenhausen is in there right now. He's got a 3rd and long to pick up coming off the sideline.
So Bettenhausen in at quarterback. A 3rd down and long. Bettenhausen looking downfield, pocket collapsing, rolls off to his right, throws downfield. Oh. It's bobbled and incomplete, the intended target. Try and make out who that
Jack
was.
Massey.
I think that was Jack Massey.
Yeah, running up the sideline right there, gets the separation, gets in front of the DB. Bettenhausen had a chance right there, but tight coverage downfield. I think he needs to release that a little bit earlier because he's also got Tyson Carter coming back across to him, trying to mirror like he was for Freitas on that play earlier. And he was bringing a DB with him as well. Yeah, Massey had won a little bit earlier in that play, and if he releases that throw a little bit sooner, he's got all kinds of space to get it to him, and he's probably actually scoring a touchdown on that play, not just converting the first down.
And so the offense going to stay on the field here. They are just on the cusp of field goal range. You've got the wind going with you, but they're going to keep the offense on the field. It's 4th down and 10, and still on the field as well as Bettenhausen. Hopefully we see Sammy Freitas come back in again after taking that headshot. And here's Bettenhausen. Bettenhausen going to be sacked, and a turnover on downs in there on the sack is number 20, Jesse Wilson.
Huge play right there by Wilson. Just absolutely blew that thing up. And that's the one thing you can't do if you're the quarterback in this situation. Look at this. He's holding this ball. He does not feel the backside pressure, and then just swallowed up by Wilson. Also in there for the South was Kevon Johnson out of Tampa, Hillsborough. So, I mean, just really good pressure coming from both sides right there. Senior quarterback, Bettenhausen, you got to know to get rid of that ball. The one thing you can't do is take the sack. If you're going to turn it over on downs, at least don't give the team an extra 12, 15 yards right there. So, about worst case scenario there for the North squad, as they hand it back to the South in pretty good field position with 6:09 left. North might not get this ball back, or if they do, probably not going to have it in any kind of favorable position.
1st down and 10, 6 minutes and 9 seconds to go. Ball on the 40. Graff is going to take it himself, and he's met by Makeen Harrison.
Oh, look at the push.
Villages. A nice push,
and that was 18,
but the tackle made by Makeen Harrison, who was so impressive for the Villages this year, and we'll get a replay on this. Look at Makeen right in the middle.
For the North squad, number 40.
Look at this push from the South. They blew this dead early, which in an all-star game, fair enough. But I feel like you almost have to reward the South for swarming in there and getting that big swell, pushing that across. That should have been a gain of 6. They're only going to give him 4, which is a yard more favorable than the initial spot, which was for 3. I think they adjusted that, saying that would probably cost this kid a couple yards here. So it's, you know, again, it's an all-star game. You're trying not to get anybody hurt, so I don't blame the referees for blowing that play dead early. But you'll love to see the effort from that South team and from the quarterback.
Jones Jr. in there at quarterback. This is a give up the middle.
And Jeffrey Jones Jr. hands off to number 12, Gervaris Leapart from Island Coast.
The carry.
I love the patience right there. The linemen are trying to get a little bit of push, and so he's kind of stutter stepping behind him, puts a hand on the back of his lineman, waits patiently, not trying to bounce it outside where he doesn't have a spot, not trying to run through the guy. He's like, I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna keep moving, and then we're gonna go ahead and get these couple of yards here and get into a 3rd and short rather than blowing up the play by trying to do something extra.
3rd down and 3 for the South. Jeffrey Jones Jr. from St. Petersburg in at quarterback, the dual threat quarterback. Junior going to hand this one off up the middle, and in there on the tackle is Maurice Adams, who's been in there on quite a few tackles so far. It's close. We'll see if they give him the first down. I think he's going to be just short.
Looks like they're signaling the first down on the near side. Yeah, they got him right to the 50. I think that they let that push go just long enough to see if he was going to get it or not. Because, again, that was a similar situation to the first down play, where Freitas runs up the middle and they push that pile forward for 6 and they blow it early, mark him for 4. But right there, you got a first down on the line. They did a good job letting that one go. As soon as he gets that first down, blow it dead.
4 minutes to go in the first half. It's a 0-0 game. Realistically, you'd probably have to get down inside the 25-yard line to have a good shot at a field goal with the way the winds are blowing. Jeffrey Jones Jr. going to take it himself up to the left side, the 45, and he's tackled by number 34, Dylan Donahoe from Denellen.
Great recognition on the read option right there. You'll see on the replay, he puts this in the belly of the running back, pulls it back himself. Look at the lineman out there sealing off that edge. It blows up a little bit, but not before he's 6 yards upfield from the line of scrimmage already. Manages to get all the way up to the 41, a yard shy of that first down, and now the playbook can really open up for the South here.
Dylan Donahoe, man, was he a heck of a local player. 210 total tackles for him, 22 tackles for a loss in his career. And so now we have a second down and short. Good little tackle there made in the middle of the field.
Number 9, Ike Perry.
Ike Perry on the carry, but again, Maurice Adams has been having a heck of a game in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Adams just such a menace down there, moving around, plugging up gaps.
Head coach Bill Thomas on that stop.
So quick to the ball as well.
Picked up just enough for the first down.
Maurice Adams from Florida High School, 95 tackles this year and 68 solo tackles. So had a heck of a season for Florida High School. And that brings up a first down and 10. This is a run up the right side by Jeffrey Jones Jr. He gains about 5 yards on the play.
Well, this is why he's such a special runner, Kyle. You see Desenors heading out to get the block on the outside, and he recognizes, though, that he's got a chance to cut this up early, and he takes it inside of the block right there. That vision is why he was able to amass so many yards over his career. 1,786 rushing yards this season. He had over 2,000 last year, was second in the state of Florida in rushing yards last season as a quarterback. So, I mean, has just been outstanding as a runner, and plays like that are the reason why him recognizing those opportunities to take a better run, pick up extra yards.
It was a nice block by James Lee Jean-Louis, one of the tight ends. And now we have a quarterback keeper. In there is Tristan Kelly, who gets the sack. It was also blown up by Maurice Adams, and that'll bring up a big third down.
Yeah, Tristan Kelly from Impact Christian in Jacksonville getting in there behind the quarterback. Swallows that up quickly. It's not allowing them to go anywhere. South was, again, trying to get a little bit tricky. Lincoln Graff on the keeper right there.
That'll make it third
That
and
makes
10.
it a third down and 10. And they have been knocked out of field goal range for sure, so likely a two-down territory for the South if they don't pick this up here. Back in at quarterback is Lincoln Graff. Spread formation, and we get a timeout, it looks like. It's going to be a timeout taken by the South. So third down and 10 coming up here. You got a minute to go. What are you thinking if you're head coach Sammy Brown down there? What are you trying to dial up here?
You got to get something to get yourself into at least a fourth and manageable. I agree with you completely that it's four-down territory here. You got a minute to go. You're not worried about turning it back over in this part of the field, especially the way the North has struggled to move the ball so far in this game. Nobody's really threatened to score. You don't count on them turning around in 50 seconds and putting up a touchdown or something like that. So I think that you definitely are thinking about, we've got two chances right here, so let's pick up something on this. Don't be taking a deep shot, low percentage, unless you got a good look at something downfield. Again, you're throwing into the wind as well, so probably better to keep it short. If you can pick up 5, 6, 7 yards on this play, you feel pretty good about it. I think that's the conversation that they're having in the South huddle right now. Let's just get something so we have a chance to pick this up on fourth.
Minute and 3 seconds remain in the first half, a 0-0 game. here at the 69th annual FACA All-Star Game. We've been having a lot of fun. Kyle Coppel alongside Drew Charlton. We got Cody Hills down field side. It's been a lot of fun so far. 3rd down and 10 though. Big down for the North defense. This is Graff. He's going to get this over to Tucker. Tucker cuts upfield to the 30, 25, 20. Tucker all the way. Touchdown! Madrid Tucker.
Madrid Tucker, we talked about his elusiveness. We talked about the shiftiness and the speed. It was all on display right there. That's a screen pass for him. The idea is we're going to get you one block. We're going to get you some space to pick up those yards like we talked about. And then Madrid Tucker says, we don't need an extra play, coach. We don't need 4th down. I'm going to go get it myself. He puts the South on the board. What a play right there. Great execution, great play call, and Madrid Tucker getting the job done to not go into the half scoreless.
So Tucker makes it 6-0, and on for the point after is going to be number 11, Brogan Wober, who's only missed 1 extra point in his entire career. We'll talk about him in a second, but Wober, kick is up, and the kick is good into the wind. Brogan Wober from Jupiter, Florida, 95 PATs. And so here comes the replay of the touchdown. You got to love what you're seeing out of the South right here.
I mean, this is, again, just absolutely perfect execution by Madrid Tucker. You get the fake handoff right there. They let the pressure come in. He comes back to get that ball, and then again, they're thinking they're going to pick up that tackle right there. That's what they're going for. And then he says, nope, I got you guys. I'm going outside with this. I'm putting that guy in the dirt, and I'm scoring. We're not going to halftime scoreless. 7-0 for the South on the back of Madrid Tucker.
And a tightly contested game. That was very important to get a touchdown there for the South, and they are on top 7-0 with 52 seconds remaining in the first half on a windy afternoon at the 69th annual FACA All-Star Game, and it's been a fun one so far. We've seen so much talent out here, but how about Madrid Tucker getting the touchdown? And it was a great look from Lincoln Graff as well. It's something that he's done his entire career for Atlantic High School, and it was a reason he had 40 touchdowns this season.
And it was such good execution. Again, he's bringing those defenders in. It takes both he and the receiver doing the jobs as well as the offensive line. And they executed that one just about perfectly. Obviously, Madrid Tucker with the extra effort to turn that play into a touchdown, but well done all around by the South squad on that one.
Nice return there by Michael Rosen from Suwannee. And that'll set the North up at about the 30-yard line. They are going into the wind, so they do have the advantage of potentially throwing a deep one downfield and connecting a little bit easier than going the opposite direction. But sometimes that can, wreak havoc on the quarterbacks as well going into the wind.
Yeah, with it at your back, you're thinking, all right, this guy's 40 yards downfield. I really got to heave it. And then you end up putting a little too much on it, oversails, stuff like that. We'll see how aggressive the North get here with these 45 seconds left in the first half.
Wells Bettenhausen back out at the quarterback position. Bettenhausen looking around. Oh, he's going to be brought down. And that is a tackle made by number 44, Kayvon Johnson. So Kayvon Johnson from Hillsborough, who had 83 tackles, 12.5 sacks, ends up getting in there. Look at that. Big number 44 comes in and makes it happen.
Yeah, just
20 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yeah, that's what you can't afford right there. And I'm surprised that the North are still looking to run a play here. I think they might. Oh, they're just going to try and get one off now. We got a stoppage of play.
So 6 seconds remaining. We have a stoppage of play. And with the South out 7-0, North's going to have to go in, make a couple adjustments here.
Well, the good news for the North is they are going to get the ball back with a second half kickoff.
Defensive end was lined up too wide. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So we got a penalty on the defense. That's going to march the ball to the 35-yard line. Likely not close enough for a heave downfield, but with the way the wind is, potentially you guys can get down there.
So
and they're going to mark it at the 30.
Yeah, I was going to say, it should get them back to 2nd and 10 because the sack took them back about 5 yards right there. They had initially started marking it off from the initial line of scrimmage at the beginning of this series. But looks like the North are going to go for one play here to end the half.
And it's going to be a draw up the middle. Run of a couple of yards, and that will be the end of the first half. The South with a 7-0 lead, and it was a beautiful throw from Lincoln Graff to Madrid Tucker to make it that way, and that's where we're at. What are your thoughts of the first half?
Well, it's been a struggle for both of these teams. We've seen, some of the difficulties with the short week. Really impressed with the defenses on both sides. They've stopped the run game pretty well and have both pressured the quarterbacks pretty decently. I think all the quarterbacks have played extremely well too. And what we've seen of them, they're up against it this week again in a matchup that favors the defense for both sides. So I think that the quarterbacks have played extremely well, even though we're in a low-scoring game. And then, of course, Madrid Tucker, perfectly executed play for the South. He gets a little extra on it, and he is the difference right now as we head to the halftime break.
Well, it's been a defensive game here at the 69th annual FACA All-Star Game. It's been a lot of fun bringing it to you so far. I'm Kyle Coppola alongside my broadcast partner, Drew Charltry. It is halftime here at the H.G. Morse Range, and there's some rain in the distance, so weather could become a factor in the second half. But weather has been a little bit of a factor with the winds howling here at the H.G. Morse Range, but it's been a lot of fun so far. What are your thoughts, Ben, about Lincoln Graff? Lincoln Graff has been really fun to watch so far, and really the entire South offense has been a joy to watch. Jeffrey Jones Jr. getting involved as well, the quarterback from St. Pete.
Yeah, I think Graff has done a great job. I think that Sammy Brown put a lot on him this week, saying that we're going to go deep into the bag, we're going to have a full playbook, we're going to try to do a whole lot of different stuff here, and really has turned Lincoln Graff loose. And I think that he's done a great job running an offense that he got introduced to in the middle of the week. He's gotten a whole bunch of plays, and I think he's executed them pretty well. He's extended plays where it's broken down. He's done a good job getting the ball out quickly when he needs to. He's really drawing in the defense on some of these screen passes, and so I've been really impressed with Lincoln Graff. I think that he's managed the game extremely well. They've only got the one scoring drive, but I think that he's done a good job of getting them into good field position, flipping the field every single time. There have not been any negative drives for this South team, and so I think that he's also benefited from being able to play most of the QB snaps. Jeffrey Jones, we saw him for a stretch in that last drive, but mostly was in on some gadget packages. Meanwhile, Bettenhausen has been going back and forth with Sammy Freitas for the north side, and I don't feel like either of them have really settled into a rhythm just yet. And so I think that strategy can kind of hurt a quarterback a little bit, even though you're trying to get these guys both opportunities, which is good as well. But I definitely think that Lincoln Graff has benefited from being able to stay in the game, get into a rhythm, and I think that he's gotten better as that first half went along. So I'll be interested to see if the North sticks with the alternation that they're doing right now, or if they start giving these guys a little bit more time. Also excited to see if Lincoln Graff continues to get better as we get into the third and then the fourth quarters.
We're going to be waiting to do the Scott Brantley Trophy, which is always a joy here at the FACA All-Star Game, and that is going to be awarded to number 34, Dylan Donahoe, here in just a minute. But before we send down to the field, the Scott Brantley Trophy is presented by the Ocala QB Club. It is always a joy to watch, and a couple of guys that received it last year have gone on to play college football, but it is a fantastic trophy that's presented at the halftime game of this game every single year.
Yeah, always an exciting part of the procedures on this All-Star Game. It's just a nice addition to everything else that goes on here over the course of the.
And so we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to have the Scott Brantley Trophy award ceremony at halftime. The South leads 7-0 here at the FACA All-Star Game.
Yeah, where is he?
He's right here.
Yeah, tell him to come on.
He's coming.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Can you hear me out there? Wave. Good. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you to the Villages High School head coach Richard Pettis, the Florida Athletic Coaches Association, Mr. Sheldon Cruz, and all its members for allowing us to come here today. What we're here to do today is to present the Scott Brantley Trophy on behalf of the Ocala Quarterback Club. What we do is we select the best player from a 6-county area. That includes Alachua, Lake, Citrus, Sumter, Marion, and Levy. In looking for the best player, we're looking for the best player that fits the attributes for this award. How it all started was 1974, the man sitting in this card right here is Scott Brantley. If you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan or a Florida Gator fan, that's possibly the best linebacker that's ever played at both. He wore number 92 in high school. That's on the award. So in doing so, we wanted to honor Scott, but we also wanted to recognize these young men that are playing today for the right attributes. And we will cover that very briefly. I'll give you some background on Scott. He was a linebacker that led Forest High School to back-to-back champions in 1974 and 75. He is a 2-time Prep All-American. He was a Parade Magazine Defensive Player of the Year, an All-American for the Florida Gators, played 8 years in the National Football League for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and had a long radio career in Tampa, and also as the color analyst for the Bucs and the Gators. And Scott is joined today by his brother, standing right over here, Coach John Brantley from Ocala Forest High School. So how do we get to this award where we get down to 3 finalists? It's very difficult. We run it just like the Heisman. We look for the best players with the best attributes. And those attributes start with on-the-field excellence, leadership, athleticism, faith, commitment, goal-oriented, character, and their community involvement. And I want to revisit commitment for just one moment. Our 3 finalists this year, and I'll announce them now, is Jarquez Carter from Newberry High School, Dylan Donahue from Denellen High School, and Nick Clayton from Buchholz High School. What's key about those 3 players, all 4 of them were in the same program for 4 years. They met the commitment standard. When you be a finalist, our committee combs through huddle, highlight tape, we go to games, we do all the necessary back work to make sure that we get the right individual to represent both Scott, the Ocala Quarterback Club, and high school football to the best attributes that are there. We need to give a special thank you to Oxford Downs. Oxford Downs has sponsored the award and the scholarship money, because our finalists get scholarship money as well, so the past 4 years. It's a really great thing to be able to do this, to be involved with these coaches, these high schools, the administrators, all the people that make this happen. So let's give one big round of applause before we give the award out to all the coaches that are here today, to the parents, the players. It takes a lot, and thank you for coming to support them today. All right, so Coach Sutton, you here? Coach Sutton, come on out. We like to have the coaches walk out with their players. They spend so much time with them, they become like second fathers or big brothers. It's very important. Now, Newberry's a long way from here. If you don't know where Newberry is, about an hour and 45 minutes, right, Coach? So Jarquez is on his way, but to keep things going, Coach Johnson's going to represent him. How we do this is just like the Heisman. And I want to point out something. This trophy right here, this is the permanent trophy that stays at the Ocala Quarterback Club. It's in the Elks Lodge in Ocala. The name goes on there permanently. This stays in there. When we did this, we did the scoring just like the Heisman. You get certain points for first place votes, second place votes, third place votes. This trophy weighs the exact amount as the Heisman Trophy does. So we made it very important, and I can tell you that trophy right there is not cheap. That's by design. We want to reward these kids, these coaches, these programs for what they do. Before I give the award, Coach Johnson, thank you for what you do to your community, for your kids, for your program. And Coach Sutton, the same thing for you. All right, now it's time to announce our runner-up for the 2024 award from Newberry High School, defensive tackle, Jarquez Carter. Jarquez is signed to go to Ohio State University. And if you see the check, Jarquez is being awarded a scholarship of $1,000. That will be paid directly to him via Ohio State. And again, that's courtesy of Oxford Downs. And now to our winner. In 7 years of doing this, I've never made known how close it was. But I'm going to do it today. One vote. One vote was the difference in runner-up to the winner. I think that's important because of how strong this class was, the character of these kids, and how they play. So without further ado, our 2024 Scott Brantley Trophy winner from Dunellen High School, Dylan Donahue. Dylan's being awarded not only the Scott Brantley Trophy, but a scholarship to him for $2,500. Now we have two other trophies that we give. The player gets one that they keep. One goes to their school. We'll deliver those next week. One round of final applause to these winners, Scott Brantley, the folks here at Villages High School and the FACA. Dylan Donahue.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 69th annual North versus South FACA All-Star Game. I'm Kyle Coppola alongside my broadcast partner, Drew Charltree. Drew, it was a fun first half, a defensive first half, but we're going to take a look at this highlight package here and take a look at how we got to the South being up 7-0.
Yeah, really exciting first half despite the low score. Both of these teams struggled to kind of get things going, moving the ball early. Defenses were strong to start this game. Not a lot of room for anyone to get anything going, whether it was on the ground or through the air. It really took the quarterbacks kind of taking off, getting on the run. You see Bettenhouse running here, getting things open a little bit. Some dump-offs down the field was really all there was for the offense. But again, once these quarterbacks started moving the ball on their own, taking it to the ground, that kind of started to open things up. Here's that highlight of Bettenhouse getting down, picking up a first down for the North. And then you see things really start to open up for both offenses. That's Desenor picking up a first. The South moving the ball pretty well. Also, Lincoln Graff scrambling for yardage as well. And the quarterbacks have really been big in this game so far. And again, once the quarterbacks got going, really opened up things for the running backs, which was key to, I think, both offenses starting to pick up. The North had what looked like the most promising drive at this point in the game. Big pickup here on 3rd and long, gets it down the field. And all of a sudden, though, things go bad for the North. Bettenhouse taken down on a sack on 4th down right here. That turns it back over to the South inside of 5 minutes. Jeffrey Jones Jr. gets the South down the field with a couple of big runs. And then you see this play right here. It looked like they were going to be dead in the water as well on the sack of Graff. But then Graff gets this one over to Madrid Tucker on 3rd down and long. Madrid Tucker does the rest of the work, getting this thing into the end zone. That's our difference right now in a 7-0 ball game. It's been huge. The difference right there inside. Under a minute and a half to go is when that touchdown came. So the South finally breaking through with the touchdown. North going to get the ball back first, but it's been huge just getting to this point so far. It's been a close game and really hard fought from both sides.
It really has, and we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Cody Hills, who's standing by with Shelton Cruz, the executive director of the FACA.
Well, Shelton, back here in the Villages for this All-Star Football Classic, the 69th edition, here for the 11th time. Let me ask you about that first. What is it about the Villages, Coach Richard Pettis, the staff he has here, continues to bring it back year after year?
You know, the people are so nice. Coach Pettis is so organized, got everything put together. I mean, it's a very easy event for us with what him and his staff and the community brings. So, you know, we're excited to be here.
For folks who aren't familiar, tell people about the FACA, the mission behind it, and obviously it's a long-standing organization with some really good roots to it as well.
Yeah, we were founded in 1936, and we've been doing All-Star games since 1949. We're getting close to 90 years, you know, and always been about coaches and kids and professional development, trying to get better at your craft, and we do that through All-Star games and coaching clinics. And so we're excited where we're at right now. We're excited where we're going, and I couldn't be more pleased than to have the honor of serving as the executive director.
And finally for you, Shelton, speaking of All-Star games, this one here today, the 69th edition, we talked about it. Your thoughts on the first half and just how much of a joy has it been working with the staff, the coaching staff, and the players this week for you?
Well, each year it's you know, we have great staffs and great kids, and we have a meeting the day they arrive on. You know, they came this past Tuesday. And I tell them, I said, it's going to be like a coaching clinic. I said, you're going to be around people you've never been around, and you're going to learn you're going to learn some new lingo, some new things to take back to your school to use, and then you're going to have a lifetime friend.
That's perfect, Coach. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for doing it. Thanks for bringing the All-Star Classic back here to the Villages.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Cody. We got a 7-0 game here at halftime of the FACA All-Star Game, and I mentioned some of those highlights in the first half. You also had Aaron Williams from Sneeds. He had a big first half. It was fun to see big number 73 getting it done, the 290-pounder, the defensive tackle for the North squad. As far as the South squad go, a lot of great defensive plays made by them. You know, James Little had a pretty good first half. Kendarius Green had a good first half as well, the defensive back from Dunbar.
Yeah, he was outstanding, and then up front as well for the South, Clifton Stone, the big fella in the middle, Ty Conzi making plays as well. So the defenses really have been the story of the game right up until the end, and even on those two big drives by the offenses, it was the defenses that really kind of made, up until the touchdown play, had made the difference-making plays. Again, in the highlight package, we talked about the defense getting the sack on Bettenhouse on 4th and long, that ended that drive and put the South in good field position. And then it looked like the North was going to get a big stop as well. They get a sack to make it 3rd and long for the North, and that is when Lincoln Graff kind of turned things around with that pass to Madrid Tucker, who ends up scoring the touchdown. But the defenses have played outstanding ball so far through 2 quarters of this game.
7-0 game, and the South leads. We had a rainstorm just come through. Shouldn't be any problem. Might be a little bit wet out there. We got some artificial turf here at the Villages Charter High School at the H.G. Morse Range, which is where this game is being played. Only Villages Charter High School student represented was Mikeen Harrison, but he made his presence felt in the second quarter.
Yeah, a couple of big tackles in that second quarter, part of keeping the South out of the end zone right up there until the end. He's been getting busy when the South are in their defensive half of the field, so they've really done a good job. He's done a good job of keeping the field position more of a battle in this one. Both of these teams were getting up to about midfield and trying to get across, and then couldn't get over that hump until the very end. Both of these teams got down into or near the red zone. So the defenses, though, have done an outstanding job keeping this game low scoring, keeping it close. The North get the ball back first right here, so it was big for South to get that touchdown, but interested to see how aggressive the North comes out to start the third quarter.
This one's going to be booted through the end zone. Again, the wind swirling toward the south. Winds blowing from 15 to 25 miles per hour today, so this one going right through the end zone. Also want to give a huge shout out to the South's long snapper. Got to give a shout out to him, or excuse me, the North's long snapper. You had Jason Lee from South Lake High School. I know Brad Lord is a local here. Great to see a local Jason Lee getting some snaps here today. Hopefully he's going to be able to get signed. He's a great long snapper. He's been having a great game so far. So a shout out to South Lake High School's Jason Lee, and we begin the second half on the 20-yard line, and that's where the North will start with the football on the 20. It'll be 1st down and 10. Coming out to quarterback is Wells Bettenhausen. From Walton High School. This one a give up the middle, and that's Jason McDaniel from Madison County, who gains a couple of yards. They're getting a little chippy down there. Last year this game was a little chippy. We had a couple of scuffles in this game last year. And starting things off with a 5-yard gain there is Jason McDaniel.
Yeah, physical run right there by McDaniel. That's what he's used to doing up at Madison County. They are a ground and pound team that likes to wear you down physically. He is the kind of player that is going to bring the identity that the North wants to the field. So I'd be surprised if we don't see a lot of him in this second half. But they're starting out on the North side. They've gone back and forth, but Sammy Freitas out there again to start the third quarter. He started the first quarter as well. Took a shot after his helmet came off on a play earlier, so good to see him back out on the field.
Bettenhausen pitches this to Weinstead. That's Dion Weinstead from Mandarin. He's a 6-foot, 205-pound running back. He's got 1,400 career yards and 18 touchdowns with Mandarin, and he wears number 24.
Great speed back. Like to see them getting him the ball on the pitch. They were running him up the middle a little bit in the first half, and I think he's a running back that really thrives in space, so hopefully they get him more opportunities like that one. But they're going to bring McDaniel back into the game for this 3rd and short. I think that gives them the most interesting options, gives them the versatility in the playbook, going to keep the South honest and have to defend him in the middle.
Sammy Freitas coming back into the game. First time we've seen him since he got his helmet taken off and took a headshot in the second quarter. So Freitas in the shotgun formation, and he's going to give this one. No, he's going to keep it, and he finds a wide open receiver. That's complete over to number 32, Josiah Farmer from Vanguard. He's got a lot to prove in this game, Josiah Farmer. He's a 5'8", 190-pounder. He made 55 tackles this season, but Farmer from Vanguard, he's another local kid I'm very impressed with in this game so far.
Yeah, and right there, his head coach, Edwin Farmer, was trying to get him a ball right there to pick up that first down, but well covered by the South. They recognized the screen pass, and now the North are going to have to punt it away. And I think that they've got to be a little bit disappointed to come out and go 3 and out on that drive after giving up the touchdown right at the end of the half. But I do like what they did with the field position, knowing that they're going to get the wind at their backs for the 2 most important quarters, especially the 4th when this game ends if it stays close.
So it's going to be a boot to about the 42-yard line, so not too bad. Into the wind, though, so that'll be good starting field position for the South. They'll come back out after going up 7-0 in the first half, and that was a great connection from Lincoln Graff to Madrid Tucker, and that's the only points of the game so far, but it couldn't have come at a better time with just 52 seconds remaining in that first half.
Yeah, and that drive that ended with the sack of Bettenhausen for the North, that allowed the South to get out and get rolling, better field position, more time, and so that really did end up being a critical play, not gaining any yardage on that, giving up yardage, in fact, on that play. The South getting down there with just about a minute to go to score that touchdown.
First down and 10 on the 41-yard line. Graff is going to give this one up, and a good tackle made there. And on the tackle was number 73, Aaron Williams. Also in there was, of course, Maurice Adams, who had a big first half.
Kenyon Mason on the carry right there. I love the dynamic elements of these running backs on the South team. We've talked a lot about DeAndre Desenor, but obviously Mason, an interesting back as well, can do a whole lot of different things with the football. Can catch out of the backfield. Obviously, good strong runner, great out in space, and then Ike Perry as well. I think kind of the overlooked man in this group, but he's a talented player who's gotten one opportunity earlier. They gave it to him to pick up a 3rd and short, I believe it was. But yeah, definitely some talent in this backfield today for the South.
We had a pass right here. This was Graff to McKinley, and it goes just off of his fingertips. And again, we did have a rainstorm move through here just about 10 minutes ago, so the ball is a little wet out there. I can imagine that the field is still a little bit damp from the amount of water that came through here. It wasn't a big rainstorm, but makes for a little bit of a slippery ball at times.
Yeah, just enough to kind of slick things down over the course of halftime. So just adding one more little element to this game on top of, the short preparation time, everybody, kind of getting to know each other, and then the wins that we've had throughout the day.
That brings up a 3rd down and short. Here's Graff. Graff down the middle of the field, and it's complete. Complete to number 17, Madrid Tucker. Tucker going to the end zone. He has touchdown number 2 on the day. It's Graff to Tucker again.
Man, I'll tell you what, when Lincoln Graff backed up and wound up for that big throw, I was like, he's going right down the middle, and I look up and I see Tucker, number 17, running through the center. I was like, oh, they're getting this one. Madrid Tucker's putting up MVP type of numbers right now. That's a handful of good catches and 2 touchdowns. That's the longest play of the game by far. And 2 scores. Both scores in the game right now belonging to Madrid Tucker. He's done a lot. The first one was all him, taking that screen pass, getting the extra yards on it to get the score, and then on that one just freeing himself, and then that cut back to the outside pylon gets him enough space to take that one to the house. Huge play right there for the South to double up the lead, as the extra point is also good for Broger.
14-0 lead for the South. If you have not signed Madrid Tucker, get on top of this kid if he's available. He has impressed today. Here's him running into the end zone for the second time tonight. That doesn't show how far he actually ran. He caught that one at about the 30-yard line, made a cut, and then ran to the left side, and he gets his 2nd touchdown of the game. So Madrid Tucker having a huge game, as is his quarterback, Lincoln Graff, who we knew was going to have a big game. Lincoln Graff had over 9,200 yards in his career. That is incredible that he had at Atlantic High School. 106 touchdowns in his career.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of deep shots in today's game, but right there, obviously, Coach Brown trusted him. Again, we talked about the veteran leadership of Lincoln Graff, what a smart and talented player he is. And so that's him saying, hey, we're going to take a shot right down the middle early on in this game, puts it in his quarterback's hands. He knows Madrid Tucker's out there and can make that play, and he delivers him a perfect ball. Madrid Tucker's able to catch it at full speed, and then he just does the rest. I mean, incredible play by the South, and huge to go up so quickly by 14. That's a minute left in this first half and a minute into the second half. They've scored the 2 touchdowns in this game. So they're starting to come up big, and the North needs to get things going if they're going to stop the South from turning this into a little bit of a blowout.
14-0 lead for the South. And this one will be into the ends. It's going to be returned, though. Oh, man, what a huge hit. And a leveling blow by number 15, Amari Caro.
Yeah, that was an aggressive decision to bring that ball out from deep in the end zone. And I get that everybody out on this field is an all-star, but, man, he just gets walloped right there. And, yeah, he paid the price for deciding to bring that one out.
Yeah, probably should have let that one go through the end zone, but nonetheless, they're set up on the 18-yard line. But a big shout-out there to Amari Caro, the wide receiver out of Pinellas Park, also plays on special teams and gets a big hit there.
Yeah, that was one for some college coaches who haven't been offering him so far. It's like, hey, I'm going to come out and make these plays on special teams in an all-star game. That's the kind of kid that I would want on my program as a college coach.
Here's Uriah Maynard. Gets back to maybe the original line of scrimmage. He's brought down by Sean Martin from Dunellen.
Number 6, Uriah Maynard from East
Excuse me, that was James Little, the 4th, who brought him down.
Maynard again, the local kid from East Ridge and Claremont, has not had a lot of space to work with today.
2nd and 10, North.
Brings up a 2nd down and 10 in a quarterback as well as Bettenhausen. Bettenhausen 30 career touchdowns. Or excuse me, 70 career touchdowns for Bettenhausen, 35 touchdowns this season. This is a throw intended for Tyson Carter, but it falls incomplete. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Tyson Carter, the only player who's been targeted deep downfield for the North this game, other than the one pass up the sideline earlier for Jack Massey. I think they want to feed Carter. I know that they're going to need some explosive plays. I think that they feel like they need some explosive plays now, trailing by 14, and Carter's going to be the guy to deliver them. But that's a tough one right there, asking Bettenhausen to throw across the field from the opposite hash and get that with Carter headed towards the sideline.
You're watching the 69th annual FACA All-Star Game at the Villages Charter High School. Been a lot of fun so far. 14-0 lead for the South with 10 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Bettenhausen in a spread formation here. 3rd down and 10. And the North needs something here. They need a 1st down very badly. Bettenhausen is going to be chased down, and now he's going to be sacked. In there on the sack is number 82, Ty Collins. Also in there was number 44, Kavion Johnson.
Well, 2nd time that Bettenhausen's been sacked today, and this puts the North in a really bad spot. They're now backed up to their own 10-yard line, punting into the wind. So everything is coming up South right now. 2 punt returners back for the South at the moment. Looks like it's going to be Anate Smith and also Madrid Tucker back there. And boy, Tucker could really kind of add to the resume if he can get a hand on this ball and do something with it.
He's looking for a hat trick, 3 touchdowns. And this is going to be a punt that is taken by the wind, and it's going backwards. And it's going to be down at the 35-yard line. So another great starting field position for the South squad.
Yeah, we've seen that punt with the backspin both times coming off the North, and they've not been able to do a lot. Punting into the wind. We saw the South punter coming out here at halftime, getting some work in, number 16, Vaughn Lennon, and he was really trying to figure out how to fight that wind, and he was managing to get some balls 55 yards. Now, he wasn't getting a ton of hang time on them, but he was able to put it deep, and you saw him really out there working on it, thinking about it, coming out early to practice that at halftime. So he's prepared in this 4th quarter if they need to hold off a North push to do so with his legs.
1st down and 10 on the 35-yard line. Coming out is Jeffrey Jones Jr. in at quarterback. Jones Jr., the dual threat quarterback. He's going to keep it himself, runs up the middle to the 35, to the 30, down to the 25, down to the 20, and he's leveled by Makeen Harrison. And not before picking up about 20 yards.
Well, that's a big hit right there by Harrison, but Jeffrey Jones Jr., again, with these great runs, you see him kind of sneak up and then slip outside and just darts up the field. And once you get him into space, someone's got to chase him down. McKean Harrison was able to do so that time, but yeah, it's hard to stop that guy once he gets out into space. You can see the replay right here, just slips right around that block, and then up the field he goes. And again, nice hit by Harrison to end the play right there. But he averaged 12.7 yards per carry this year. Just absolutely absurd numbers. Here he goes again.
Here he goes again, down inside the 5-yard line, and he's brought down. But that'll be a first down and goal for Jeffrey Jones Jr.
They're going to mark him right at the 2. I think his knee might have been down even before that. But a huge lunge right there by him at the end, even trying to pick up a couple extra yards. And the North really in danger right here. They're going to leave Jeffrey Jones Jr. in the game at quarterback, which I think is the right move down inside the 5 right here. It really keeps the North off balance. Someone has to tag up on him.
Well, whoever's going to take a chance on Jeffrey Jones Jr. is going to get a heck of an athlete. And he has shown that today. First down and 10, first down on the 2-yard line, first down and goal. Jones Jr. going to keep it himself, looking for his first touchdown and he's got a touchdown. The 3rd touchdown of the day for the South squad, and it's Jeffrey Jones Jr. from St. Petersburg.
Just such great composure right there by Jeffrey Jones Jr. on that play, as now the South is about to lead 21-0, and you'll see right here this just the way that he keeps his head right here. He's got rushers coming at him. Running back picks up the block as he pulls in the carry, and then he fights through the contact at the end right there to push that thing into the end zone. Great play, and both of these quarterbacks for the South are getting the job done right now.
Look at the elusiveness of Jeffrey Jones Jr. He had 38 touchdowns in his career, 3,100 yards total. He had 887 yards passing, and he has been a force for St. Petersburg the last couple of years. And great to see Jeffrey Jones Jr. having a big FACA All-Star game. He gets into the end zone for the touchdown, the 3rd of the day, and the South take a 21-0 lead. So for the North, obviously down 3 touchdowns, not preferable in an All-Star game, but hoping that they show some signs of life here in the second half.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering, I think that the quarterbacks for the North, both of them are extremely capable, but we haven't seen them succeed the way that Lincoln Graff has. Obviously, Jeffrey Jones Jr., different type of quarterback, run-first type of guy, but I think that, you know, the North almost has to make a decision right here. I think if you're Edwin Farmer, you have to say, all right, I'm taking one of these guys, and they're going the rest of the 3rd quarter, and then someone else can play the 4th quarter, but you've got to start giving them consecutive series at some point. They're not sustaining offense. We saw them go 3 and out both times, both possessions in this second half, and both times they've led to touchdowns by the South. And so I think that you've got to let one of these guys stay in, develop a little bit of rhythm. It looks like it's Freitas with the helmet on right there, so we're going to see another switch for the North, and they've got to get something going, though, on the offensive side of the ball.
Return to about the 18 again, and tackle made by number 14, Anae Smith.
Brantley high on the return that time.
And that'll be a first down and 10 for the North at about the 18-yard line. Can't say enough about the defense for the South squad. Man, they have been fun to watch so far today. You get Trey Berry the 3rd out there. He's been fun to watch from Lakeland Christian. You also have Kevon Johnson from Hillsborough, who's been in there. He's been in there a lot, actually. Eddie Hawley having a big game, and Clifton Sloan. It's been hard to run on big number 90. He's been clogging things up in the middle. First down and 10 on the 18-yard line. Freitas drops back to pass. It's thrown downfield, and it's out of play. The intended target was Michael Rosen.
Freitas' pass intended for 21, Michael Rosen.
Brings up a second down and 10, and really, as far as the North's going, you think they're trying to force too many throws?
I think they are. And again, this is where we're seeing the difference in approach. That was more or less the same play that they ran on the attempt by Bettenhausen. Again, you're going, you got a receiver going to the outside. You're trying to get that throw over the top. These quarterbacks haven't been playing consistently today, and so they're not in rhythm. You're asking them to make these difficult throws. And I think that, as much as the South kind of gave themselves a challenge by trying to go with a larger playbook for this week, I think that it has hurt the North a little bit that when they've needed some big chunk plays, they've not had options to go and get them. And I think that they're playing a little bit more limited selection of plays right now. They're trying to get things going on the ground with the quarterback runs, which is what we saw kind of spring things for them in the first half. But again, this South defense has really been hitting its stride, which bought time for the offense to get going, and the North has not managed to get into the same kind of rhythm here.
That tackle was made by Jacob Taylor from East Lake High School, the 6'1", 215-pound linebacker. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5, so another 3rd down for the North squad. Hoping to complete this here, they need some sort of momentum. Freitas drops back. He's going to throw it, and it's complete. A nice pickup there to that's number 14, Jack Massey.
And that was one that they needed right there. You got to get this ball moving. You got to pick up a 1st down. So they get the one here. They've got to get something going on this drive, preferably score, but at the very least, you got to make this next drive harder on the South. You're not going to get a good punt kicking into this wind. You got to get across midfield at the very least, put the South deep and try to win a field position battle, get yourself into a position. If you can't sustain a drive, you got to start a little bit closer. They've started inside the 20 on both of these last 2 drives here. So you really have to just keep this ball moving and get some kind of momentum going.
1st down and 10. Freitas over the middle. It's complete once again to Jack Massey. Massey had 14 career touchdowns. He averaged 10.89 yards per reception. He had 76 career receptions as well. He was really good for Mosley.
And Sammy Freitas obviously trusts him, the 2 of them teammates together. And so he's just going to his guy right now, just trying to get something going for the North, which is what they have to do.
That brings up a 2nd down and 4 for the North All-Stars.
2nd and 3 for the North from the 44.
So Freitas, again, a spread formation for him. Trying to get things going for the North and trying to get into the end zone. Defense has been great for the South so far. Freitas going to take this up the middle, and he's going to get a 1st down and more. He's eventually tackled by Jacob Taylor, but moves the chains.
Blew it up the middle for another 1st down for the North.
An excellent job right there. Running through traffic. A nice lane opens up. See the nice block down the field. It's a great job right there by Keelan Washington out of Walton. Up in the panhandle, getting out there and springing his quarterback free, getting him down the field to pick up the 1st.
Also out there defensively, you see Eddie Hawley from Coral Shores. Eddie Hawley, the 6'3", 225-pound linebacker. He's been a joy to watch so far in this 2nd half. Laying it down. 1st down and 10, though, for the North. Make some cuts there. It's not working, and that was a give to number 20, Jason McDaniel, who has struggled to get things going in this 2nd half, but another nice tackle made. Tackle made by number 34, Arian Bradley from St. Petersburg.
34, Bradley.
St. Petersburg well represented at the FACA All-Star Game.
Yeah, several players from St. Pete High out here in today's game. They had a great season as well. Tons of talent out in the Tampa area. Really every pocket of Florida, it seems like you can just pluck great football players from. We got so many guys here on the north side from the Panhandle, from Jacksonville, obviously from Central Florida around Orlando, and here in the Tri-County area. South Florida, everybody across the country kind of knows the reputation, but you think about Miami a lot of times when you think about that South Florida talent, but Southwest Florida here, tons of players today from the Tampa area, from Fort Myers. The number of players on the roster today from Fort Myers is outstanding. So, I mean, there is pretty much anywhere you go in the state of Florida, you'll find a lot of talent.
Oh, it's been a fun second half so far. We got about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cody Hills is standing by, the third member of our team. Cody, it's been a fun second half so far.
It has, and I just want to touch on that point you guys made, the pockets of talent all across this state. That's been something that's been talked about quite a bit this week. We mentioned in the opening how much these guys have practiced, hung out, been able to listen in and be fortunate enough, privy enough to some of those conversations, and there's been a little bit of bragging going on. Is the football better in the south of the Sunshine State compared to the north? And then you get the little conversations on the side where the 239 in Southwest Florida, Fort Myers, Lee County, if they're better than 305 and Miami-Dade County and Broward County, and of course you talk up north, the Panhandle guys, they feel a certain way about their brand of football. It's just something I think that adds to this game is the little individual side conversations about just how good this state of Florida and the talent here is.
5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Thank you, Cody. Second down and 10. Freitas over the middle. It's complete. And that'll be a first down for the North. It's complete to number 9, Christian Neptune.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to call his game.
He's got one of the coolest names.
I know, right? We've been waiting. Christian Neptune out there, God of the seas, just getting it done over the middle of the land in this particular instance. But big player out of Tate and Pensacola, and he's going to USF next year. Also had offers from Boston College, Stanford, Arizona, great academic as well. And so excited to get him going, and also really excited to see Sammy Freitas really starting to get into a rhythm here and get something going for the North.
So excited to hear his name on Saturdays. Christian Neptune out there, and see what they decide to do here. Oh, Freitas is going to be jumped, and he's going to be sacked. Oh, we have flags all over the place. Getting in there on the tackle was Eddie Hawley. And you also had in there number 34, Arian Bradley.
Yeah, that one broke down in a hurry. Freitas running for his life.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Repeat first down.
And so it's going to be a flag on the defense, but watch the tail end of this play. Freitas, oh, man.
Yeah, escapes that one, puts the stiff arm in, and avoids a huge loss on that one. Would have saved a couple of yards. Obviously, the penalty kind of negating it a little bit, so we're going to get a first down. And 9, not something you get to say very often.
So first down and 9. Hal Durfee was in there on the play as well. Number 33 for the South squad. Best field position so far for the North. We'll see if they can capitalize. First down and 9. Freitas drops back to pass. And now he's flustered and taken down by Hal Durfee.
It looks like he's going to lose a yard on this one. No options open for him downfield right there. And he's done a good job, I think, all day of standing in the pocket, deciding when to take off, and right there, decides to try to go up through the middle of the pocket, and the South this time just swallowed it up, blocked it off for him, gave him nowhere to go. So they're starting to key in on these quarterbacks a little bit. We talked a lot coming into the game about Jeffrey Jones Jr. and the running threat that he is. We've seen all 3 other quarterbacks get some work done on the ground. The South, though, trying to stop Bettenhouse and Freitas from being able to move the ball on them that way.
Hal Durfee is going to be a great player at the next level if somebody takes a chance on him. Number 33 on the defense. This is a give up the middle to Jason McDaniel, and he gains a few yards on the play. That'll set up a third down and manageable for the North.
Well, I think that this is 4-down territory. Again, you're kicking into the wind, even with the good kickers on both of these teams. That's not ideal, but the North down by 3 touchdowns. I think they're playing to get into the end zone on this drive. So you're looking right now at the 3rd and 6, but you got 2 chances to pick this first down up. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it on the ground again, try to pick up a couple more yards and open up the playbook for that 4th down play. But I think that they're going for it regardless of what happens on this next one.
Brings up a 3rd down and 5. Yeah, no choice probably but to go for it. So definitely 2-down territory. Back in at the running back position is Dion Weinstead. Freitas is going to be sacked. In on the sack is Arian Bradley. Oh, and he celebrates, yeah.
Brantley from St. Pete on that sack.
Well, that's a brutal one right there. Freitas has to get rid of this ball. He's been so good all day, and especially on this drive, but then stumbles a little bit right there, lost his footing. You got to get rid of that ball. It's just an absolutely brutal time to take that sack. And, man, the defense for the South just coming up bigger and bigger, it seems, as the game goes along. Durfee, again, was a part of that one. And, man, they're really taking it to Freitas in the North right now. It looked so promising just a moment ago. We're talking about, hey, let's get this into 4th and manageable. We're going for a touchdown. And now you're staring down an almost impossible conversion.
4th and 20. Freitas is going to have this one complete. It's close to a first down, and it's complete to Sean Martin. Did he get enough? I don't think he did. He might have been a yard short.
And Jack Massey, actually the receiver on that one again. Again, he goes to his guy. He goes to the go-to, but can't get that 20th yard. Got 19 of them, and they're going to turn it back over to the South. Tough break right there as they came so close to managing to convert that. But, man, the South defense coming up big again, getting the immediate hit on Massey, not allowing him to fall forward for that extra yard. And the South heads back onto the field. Now, the North did accomplish the mission of flipping field position at least. So the South are going to have a long way to go to extend this 21-point lead, but the way that they've been moving the ball so far, the North, I feel like they have to get off the field quickly here.
Got to give a shout out to Reggie Adams from Chiefland, the defensive end right here.
Hall of Famer.
A big hit made there, just about a minute to go in the third quarter. Also out there was Michael Mitchell from Lake Brantley High, the 6'1", 180-pound defensive back.
Adams and Marzal.
Brings up a second down and 8. Yeah, they need to stop here quickly.
Yeah, you did the job on first down. You have to expect that the South is going to take to the air here on second, so be ready for that. But you cannot let this quarterback scramble.
30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Lincoln Graff give up the middle again, and a nice tackle made by Josiah Farmer from Vanguard High School. Brings up a third down and long.
That was Desenor, who's been pretty quiet today. Had a nice catch earlier that went for a first down, but really has not got a lot of space to run. So much of the offense, when it's been running, when they've been really successful, it's been Jeffrey Jones Jr., and then through the air, it's just been an absolute ton of Madrid Tucker.
So 21-0, that's the end of the third quarter. We'll send it down to our sideline reporter, Cody Hills. In between the third and fourth quarter, Cody, it was a fun third quarter there, lots of scoring opportunities. How's it going down there on the sideline?
Well, things are good here, at least on the south sideline, Kyle. Lots of upbeat guys. It's been that way all day long, truly, to be honest with you guys. Very laid back on this south sideline. We kind of touched on it in our opening. South team seemed to be really focused on the game plan, not so much the technique or fundamentals. He did a little bit of that early, but really focusing on the game plan, and I guess you could say it's paid off. 21-0 here through three quarters of play. South sideline still, or the north sideline still upbeat, still trying to stay in it. You know you're always going to get that from Coach Farmer out of Vanguard, but here on the south side, it is certainly fun. Looking forward to finishing off these final 15 minutes, and this is the first time I believe you got about 2021 to find a game where we didn't have it decided by at least one possession. Usually been pretty close, and you got to go back almost 10, 12 years to find a margin quite this big here through the first three quarters. So the South doing the work here through the first three quarters of play.
Thank you, Cody. Third down. Here we go. Third down and 6. Big down. We'll see if the North is able to hold the South here. This is really the game right here. If you're thinking about Graff looking around, now he's flustered. He's going to try to run for this first down. He's knocked out of play by Dylan Donahoe, who at halftime, Dylan Donahoe was awarded with the Scott Brantley Trophy. So that was really cool for a local athlete who just embodies exactly what Scott Brantley's all about. Here he's going to be at the tail end of the play, making the tackle.
Yeah, just does a great job, and that scholarship awarded by the Ocala QB's club, and always goes to a local player. And Donahoe out of Denellen, just the type of guy that every football coach in the area, really across the country, wants. Just comes to work every day with the lunch pail type of guy. I mean, it's all very cliche, but he embodies all of that. I mean, he is what you want. And now the South, with a little bit of trickery, it looks like they might go for it here on 4th and 1.
4th down and 1. They're going to go for it, and they're going to get the first down. That's Alex Wilson up the middle, or DeAndre Desenor up the middle from Atlantic, and he's going to have a first down. So Desenor, who was quiet in this game is going to end up with the first down, Drew.
Yeah, we talked about not maybe seeing enough of him, but right there on maybe the biggest play of the game for the South. You talked about this drive having the potential to more or less end things. They go to him. They say, we need 1 yard. We cannot mess this up right here, or it completely changes the complexion of the game. They go to him, and he manages to pick up that first down. DeAndre
Desenor committed to West Virginia. He's a 5'9", 175-pound running back. First down and 10 for the South. And it's a give up the middle. This is Mason, who's also committed to Delaware.
Number 5.
So looking forward to big things the next 4 years out of him. Mason is a 5'10", 180-pound running back out of Sebring.
Gain of 3 on the play.
Gain of 3 on the play, and that brings up a second down and 6.
By the way, that was the 8th tackle of the game for Mikeen Harrison. The guy getting it done on his home field here today.
Yeah, his final game here at the Villages Charter High School. Been fun to watch Mikeen the last couple of years. Of course, he played for South Sumter during his junior year, and then came over here and was so impressive. This one is a pass, and it's going to be incomplete. Good coverage on the play by Josiah Farmer.
That one just a little bit behind Adrian Scott, who I've been hoping to see something out of him today. And he gets the angle on the route, and then that ball just behind him. Easy breakup for the DB right there.
3rd and 7.
I've been impressed by Josiah Farmer here today. You know, he was very impressive at Vanguard. He's a little undersized at 5'8", 190 pounds, but man, he doesn't play like it.
No, absolutely not. Definitely one of those guys who plays above his weight. Just absolute bulldog down in the trenches, gets out in coverage as well, uses some of the speed that he has to his advantage. You'll see him out in coverage on this play. Does a good job out there in the flat. And so it was really versatile linebacker, not afraid to get into backfields and terrorize quarterbacks, but also able to drop back into coverage. Really versatile player and really fun to watch. And again, if he was, 3 inches taller, probably going to a pretty good program next year. So unfortunately, because of his size, he's not going to get those same kind of looks. But smart player, coach's kid, does all the right things out there on the field, makes all the right decisions. And so hopefully he gets an opportunity somewhere to prove it at the next level.
He's the reason that Vanguard has been district champions as well. He's been a huge part of that team, and I know he's had Leesburg High School's number the last couple of years. Leesburg hasn't been able to beat Vanguard in quite a few years. They had a couple of opportunities this year. They played him twice this year, and every single time they played him, who was it? It was Josiah Farmer that would come up big during the plays that they needed him most, and that is a punt by the South team, so the North going to get another stab at it offensively. Time winding down, though, only 13 minutes to go in this game.
Yeah, Von Lennon, I talked about him at halftime coming out, getting these kind of spiraling punts and getting them deep. That one right there, he did not kick the same way that he did in those practice punts into the wind at halftime. Did end up getting a friendly bounce, and so not as favorable a field position as maybe the North would have liked when that ball was up in the air. But they've got a chance right here. They've got to get down the field. They got to score, and they got to do it quickly. But got to get a score and a stop on these 2 upcoming possessions here.
First down and 10. Here's Uriah Maynard. And he's going to be stopped. In on the play is Rashad Taylor, who was able to make the stop. Rashad Taylor out of South Fort Myers. He's a 6'1", 225-pound senior. Rashad Taylor, 248 tackles in his career, 36 tackles for a loss in his high school career.
Yeah, just a guy who has a nose for getting into the backfield, so good at sniffing out runs. Obviously, has gotten after the quarterback plenty in his time there. Just one of those guys that is an absolute terror when you play against him. You have to know where he is on the field when you're game planning for his team. He's going to be fun to watch at the college level as well. Again, a guy who's great against the run and the pass, really versatile player.
He was coached by Matthew Holderfield from South Fort Myers. Field always does a great job with his South Fort Myers teams. Anytime you get a team down in Fort Myers, I mean, those teams are very well coached down there. And so you got another one, and we had a stoppage for a scuffle here down on the field. It's going to be a first down and 10. But referees discussing this one. So we'll see what this one's all about. 13 minutes and 2 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. And it's been a fun one. It got started with Lincoln Graff and Madrid Tucker late in the second quarter. And then early in the third quarter, they were able to connect again with 2 touchdowns with both of those guys.
During the play,
and of course, Jeffrey Jones.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. Those fouls offset.
So we get offsetting
After
penalties here.
Conduct on the offense. 15-yard penalty will be applied. Still first down.
So after all of that, it's a penalty against the North.
Yeah, and that's brutal right there. Cody talked about the rivalry kind of throughout the week between the North and South, these two teams talking about it. Now they're trying to decide it on the field, and it's getting a little bit chippy, as we've seen in the last couple of years. And the North, the 2 penalties on them end up setting them back here 15 yards. Again, the initial 2 offset, 1 from each side, but the North cannot afford to back themselves up like this.
So here it's a first down and 20. Bettenhausen throws it downfield, and it's going to be potentially complete here. Are they going to call him in?
Well, it certainly looks like they are.
If it was complete to number 21, Michael Rosine from Suwanee, making the grab. Referee's still discussing it.
They're going to say no catch.
Oh, he had a foot in. I wish we could have had replay on that. You could see in the replay he had his left foot in.
That's a tough break right there for the North. Again, they get backed up into a tough situation right here, and they make the big play. They did what they needed to do. Michael Rawson, chance to move the sticks for his team, and makes a tough catch out there on a pretty good throw by Bettenhausen. And again, tough break for the North.
Way down yonder on the Suwanee River. And we have a delay of game penalty.
Things going from bad to worse for the North. That's just brutal. When you take away a play like that, you don't have that many in you. Any football team, it's a low percentage chance of converting a play, converting a situation like that as it is. You do it once and it gets taken away. Almost no chance of doing it a second time.
Second down at 25. This one is complete over to Christian Neptune with his second completion of the game. Christian Neptune, he is committed and signed to USF. Also had offers from Boston College, Stanford, and Arizona. Brings up a big third down and 20.
From Cypress Lake High School, head coach Joseph Mendez.
Not many plays in your arsenal for third down and 20 here, but if you can convert, the North needs this here with time winding down in this game.
Yeah, protection is going to be key here. It looks like the South is only going to rush 4. Obviously, they're going to play blanket coverage out there, not allow anything deep downfield if they can avoid it.
Bettenhausen, spread formation. He's going to throw it downfield. And it's intercepted. That's Green on the interception.
And that pass intercepted by number
So
1,
Green from Dunbar, he had 4 interceptions on his high school career and gets number 5 right there.
Yeah, Bettenhausen was looking for Nash Bashirs down the field, but Green just running underneath it, had it tracked the whole way. And man, you talk about the North kind of doing themselves in with the penalties right there, digging their way out of it, and then the catch gets called out of bounds, and then you're just desperate to get that conversion. You have to try to make a play like that, and Kendarius Green just up to the challenge for the South team. And again, that's a Dunbar player I mentioned. There's 3 of them in this game today. That was a big one for Sammy Brown's boy over there.
Michael Rawson had 10 touchdowns this year. He was absolutely fantastic for Suwanee. He showed up every single Friday night. You knew Michael Rawson was going to be one of the players to watch. 1,500 career yards. Just want to give him a shout out real quick. 818 yards this season for Suwanee. Oh, man, a big leveling blow by number 15, Seth Chestnut, coming in there out of Baker County.
Well, we haven't gotten to say his name yet tonight, but yeah, you see that, there's a reason he's going to Towson. He's going to be up in the Baltimore area where they play AFC North football, and he looks like he's ready for it. Man, what a hit right there. You want to talk about a team not giving up. The North down 21-0, and Chestnut out there saying, hey, we're still in this. We're fighting for it. They're trying to get this ball back. The defense has played really good football today for the North, and they are really trying to keep this game within reach. The offense is going to have to do something, but the defense is doing their part to make sure that it's possible.
Chestnut playing alongside by Keen Harrison. Here's a ball, and it's incomplete. That ball intended for number 17, Madrid Tucker, who's been so good in this game, and that's going to be a drop.
And boy, if he catches that, he's got a seam up the inside of the field right there. You look as he drops that, all the space right there. If he can get past the safety, I mean, even if he doesn't get past the safety, Sean Martin right there, he's still picking up at least close to first down yardage. And it looks like the South's going to get a first down off of a penalty anyway. But, man, Madrid Tucker, again, has played like an MVP in today's game, and that would have just added to his case if he catches that ball right there.
Also going to give a shout-out to Robert Newman, one of the offensive linemen for George Jenkins High School. He's a 6'3", 275-pound offensive lineman, so a big shout-out to Robert Newman. So roughing the passer penalty, first down and 10 on the 35-yard line. This one is taken by the quarterback, Jeffrey Jones Jr., who has a touchdown, and he'll gain about 2 yards out of that.
So that time they were ready for him, and again, you see the chippiness down there. These two teams, again, this game, a lot of this game is about pride. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of these guys that, for some of them, this is kind of a reward for a great season, but a lot of these guys still trying to get opportunities to go play college ball. They're still trying to show a little bit on film and to scouts. But again, it's also when you regionalize a game like this, we say north side, south side of the state, there's a little bit to prove. They talked about it all week. I'm sure that these guys have had discussions online with their friends about where the best football players in the state are, and all these guys out there think that they are part of that group.
Another run up the middle. Can't say enough about the South's offensive line today as well. You got Robert Newman out there, Cade Long, Jack Menadis, Joseph DeSantis out there from Jupiter as well. He's been fun to watch. Nick Acosta has been a joy, as well as James Lee Jean Louis. So it's been a great day for the offensive line for the South team.
So I really like Jack Benitez. I mean, I think that he's just been outstanding today. He's got the build. He just looks like he belongs on that offensive line. He's done such a good job this afternoon.
Oh, it's going to be a great block by number 74, Robert Newman, and opens things up for Jeffrey Jones Jr., who gets close to a first down. I think he got it. Watch number 74 here pull. Look at this.
Comes around, pushes that, gives an extra push to his fellow lineman, and then goes out and hits another block. Springs his quarterback, who, by the way, I've talked so much about the vision of Jeffrey Jones Jr. today. I think that most high school players would see that and think, I got to get outside. I got to get outside of this. He cuts it up. He trusts his lineman, who, again, he's only been playing with for a couple days, to come out and hit that block. He knows it's going to open up. He sees him coming around on the pull, and he cuts it upfield, and he turns that into a first down.
First down and 10. A great pitch, and this is going to result in a touchdown for number 9, Ike Perry out of Port Charlotte, getting on the board.
Well, that's awesome for Ike Perry. I talked about how he's not gotten a lot of touches today. I think that's only his 4th touch of the game, and you saw the breakaway speed. Everything just opens up in the middle of the field. You see them hit the linebacker right there to spring him, and he is gone. Just turns on the jets after the nice block by Amari Caro to spring him, and nobody's touching him after that one opens up for him.
And so a touchdown by Ike Perry from Port Charlotte, the 5'9", 170-pound running back gets it done. Here's the extra point. It's up, and it's good. 28-0, the South leads. You want to talk about a player that deserves an opportunity. It's Ike Perry out of Port Charlotte. 1,717 career rushing yards, 24 touchdowns over his career, and he averaged 10.3 yards on the ground. So he has been a force for Port Charlotte.
Yeah, had an absolutely massive senior year. Almost 1,400 of those rush yards came this season. So a little bit of a late bloomer, probably the reason that he doesn't have a ton of offers, because he didn't have that big breakout junior year. But as a senior, I think really proved that he belongs at the next level. 17 touchdowns this season on top of those 1,400 yards. And again, you saw the speed right there. You get him in space, he is going to make something happen.
So another great offensive possession from the South. I mean, boy, the offensive line was really impressive. We haven't mentioned them enough in this game, but they have been very impressive, opening gaps up for the running backs, and a couple of really good ones, of course, Robert Newman, Cade Long, and you mentioned Jack Benitis out of Bishop Verreau. What a game he's had so far, and now 28-0 the score.
And such an outstanding job. I talked about how the South had put a lot on the quarterback today, especially on Lincoln Graff with the game planning and how they were going to have a bigger playbook and what they were asking him to do. That goes for the offensive line as well. They got more exotic plays. You've got a running quarterback who's doing read option stuff. You're doing screen passes. You're doing pull blocking. And so this offensive line that doesn't play together, they've also had to figure this out in the matter of a couple days. That was awfully close to a late hit. Not a ton of contact right there, but the way that this game has gone, got to keep an eye on that. But yeah, the offensive line has been challenged this week as well. And again, huge shout out to Sammy Brown for coming into this week and saying, these guys are seniors. These guys are the best in the state. I'm gonna challenge them this week, but it's going to give them opportunities to do some great things in this game, and I think it's benefited the South a lot. His approach to this week, obviously, you're seeing the result out here right now with the score being 28-0, and I think that this is an example for FACA coaches. Yes, the fundamentals are important. Yes, you want to establish identity and physicality, but also you're getting veteran players. You're getting guys that have been picked by their coaches because they are outstanding football players. And coaches don't call guys outstanding football players if they're not football smart. And so I think that, again, Coach Brown saying this week, I'm going to go into the bag. I'm going to let these guys play football. I think that is the approach that coaches are going to start taking in this game more after watching today.
Freitas completes it over to Christian Neptune. Gain of a few yards on the play.
They've been going to Neptune a lot in the second half. We didn't call his name until I believe it was late in the third quarter. It was when they were down in scoring territory down there close to the red zone. Started going to him a little bit more. I thought that he'd be a little bit more involved throughout this game. I think they're realizing that they probably need him to be a little bit more involved. But Sammy Freitas back in the game, I think, has had the best drives for the North. Of course, though, had the huge sack that kind of spoiled their promising drive here in the second half. So got to get things going. He's got the wind at his back right now. They got to get downfield. Definitely, if the win is out of reach, at the very least, you don't want to get shut out in a game like this.
Freitas looking for Neptune again, and it's incomplete. That'll bring up a third down and 10 coming up for the North.
Just out of reach that time. Brings up third down.
And so third down and 10 for the North, and they'd love to get on the board again. They made a drive in that in the start of the second half that was looking pretty promising until things ended quite abruptly. But a 28-0 deficit. Obviously, probably not going to win this game or come back to it in an all-star game, but would love to get on the board here. Freitas in the shotgun formation, spread formation for him. Third down and 10. Freitas drops back, looking for Neptune. He has him. Is it enough for a first down?
Boy,
looks like it could be.
I think he's right at it. They're spotting him at the 34-yard line, which is right where the marker is. Yep, they're waving on the chains. Just barely got enough right there. Good job by Neptune. Keep wanting to say veteran player. All these guys are veteran players. They're all seniors. But, yeah, you see right there, that's got to be so nice for a quarterback, though, to go out with a group of all seniors, guys that have played the game for 3 and 4 years and know what they're doing at the very least. Obviously the chemistry has to grow, but there's such a baseline of talent and knowledge in this group. It's got to be fun for the quarterbacks.
So first down and 10 for the North. Freitas over the middle. He's picked off, and it's a pick by Chartrell Jenkins out of Cypress Lake.
Big linebacker from Fort Myers just sitting underneath that one. You saw him He's not far off the line of the pass, but he kind of stutters. Watch this. He's going to break late, but he's just sitting down underneath it right there, and he sees that they've got the player running the seam. They got the safety over the top, so he drops in underneath and then just makes a leaping grab right there. And now, second turnover of the game. Both these teams avoided turning the ball over in the first half, and then 2 interceptions by the South, one by a DB, one by a linebacker. They're getting aggressive, and they're really starting to see what the North is doing. And again, that's another thing. These kind of formats already sort of favor the defense, and when you keep the playbook simple, eventually they're going to figure it out. And I think that the South has figured out what the North is doing. And it's much as, you know, opening up the playbook challenges the quarterbacks, it's also going to make it hard to play against the defense when you keep things so simple.
Here's a completion. That was over to Ike Perry, who had a touchdown last time out. Can't say enough about Chartrell Jenkins out of Cyprus, late the 6-foot, 190-pounder, 144 total tackles in his career, 13 tackles for a loss and 3 interceptions for Chartrell Jenkins, and has an interception here today.
Yeah, and this is a guy that does not have an offer, does not have a commitment to a college program. Someone's got to pick this guy up.
Yeah.
I mean, prototypical, 6 foot, 190. That's before getting into a college weight room. He already looks like he's built like a college linebacker. I mean, this is a kid that I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed by if they go out and get him, as we get another completion over to Adrian Scott, who, again, I've been wanting to see a lot from in this game. Just going to get this screen right here. Similar to the play earlier that we saw the touchdown by Madrid Tucker in the first half, the little comeback screen. But, yeah, I mean, Chartrell Jenkins, man, I just, when I was looking at this kid, I'm just stunned that he doesn't have an offer. You see the athleticism and the skill because he plays on the offensive side, 632 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns, an absolute dog, because this guy is a full-time linebacker as well, and he's out there to rack up those kinds of numbers on the offense. You want to talk about a guy who's both talented, has the prototypical build, and all the athletic ability in the world, and shows up like
Graf
that.
Downfield, it's complete. Oh, and it's fumbled, but he recovers it. It was complete downfield to Madrid Tucker. And it's going to be a first down and goal. Sorry, Drew.
No, absolutely worth interrupting me for that one. Madrid Tucker been quiet for about a quarter here, but they go back to him on this throw downfield. He spots up for that one. Ball security, maybe a little bit of an issue. Good strip right there, but man, I can't believe he got back onto that one. That was such a good job right there by Gavin Jenkins of Union County to strip that ball away, and then it looked like he was going to get it. Madrid Tucker manages to dive on top of that ball, save possession for the South. MVP game continues for him.
First down and goal, and it's going to be, close to a touchdown. Down to the 1-yard line goes Desenor. Desenor looking for a touchdown today. Man, he was so good this season with 11 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's obviously outstanding. Again, we mentioned a couple times he's going to West Virginia. If he's holding the ball in the other arm, he's got a touchdown on that one right there. He's going to come out of the game. I do like that they're going to leave Lincoln Graf in right here. You know, Jeffrey Jones, the obvious choice when you're down in this territory, but have some fun. Make it a little bit of a challenge. You're up 28-0. This game is well in hand with just about 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Let's see what your quarterback can do here at the goal line.
You got Mason in there. Ball on the 1-yard line. Second down. Give is to Mason, and he's met at the line. And that's Aaron Williams from Sneeds. Oh, you got to love Aaron Williams today, the 6-foot, 290-pounder. He says, no way. Watch this. Watch Aaron Sneeds come in here.
Yeah, he's been massive, both literally and within the play of the game. I mean, just pulls him back. It's so hard to get around that guy. Ball was right on the goal line right there. But
so the last shutout was 2010, actually, here at the FACA All-Star Game. It's been a long time, 14 years since we've had a shutout. And so third down and goal on the 1-yard line. We'll see if the South can make it 35-0. Graf, who's been so good at the quarterbacking position.
Love this trips bunch to the right.
Graf gives it up to Mason. Mason into the end zone for the touchdown. Mason from Sebring gets in there. The Delaware commit making it happen.
That was Sebring's high. Sebring high.
And the South trying to get some touchdowns for the running backs in this game, getting all of them some work. I really like seeing how they've spread the ball around between the running backs. We talked about how some of the touches maybe had been a little bit disparate throughout the first half, but they're all getting involved and now all finding the end zone here in the second.
4 minutes remain in the FACA All-Star game, and it's been a lot of fun for the South, maybe not so much for the North, but there's been some great plays that have happened in this game. And what an opportunity for all the kids that have gotten invited to this school. It's been a lot of fun. We've got a recap of the last drive, and it was a heck of a drive, Drew.
Yeah, obviously after the interception, you set things up right here. Well, actually starting on the interception, obviously Chantrell Jenkins getting underneath that one. A great play to get the South in plus territory to start off the drive, making things easy as if they hadn't been already. And then you see Graff on the rollout right here, looking downfield, keeping things alive. Who's he go to? Of course, Madrid Tucker, who's been the go-to guy all day for the South, manages to fall on his own fumble. And then, of course, you cap it off with this easy run right here. 3 straight tries from the goal line, and the South punch it in 35-0. Now the score, it has been all South throughout the second half after a 7-0 halftime score.
35-0 with 4 minutes and 4 seconds to play. It was Mason on that last touchdown. Mason committed to Delaware, where he's going to no doubt impress up at the FCS level. This one's going to be a kickoff out of bounds. And so the North will get this in prime field position.
Weird mistake there from Brogan Weber, who we really haven't had a chance to talk about. Was hoping to see him kicking some field goals at some point today, but we did mention earlier that he was perfect on extra points this season. 43 of 43. He is 5 for 5 in today's game. He is the definition of automatic when it comes to the point after try. Also, great field goal kicker, though. 9 of 12 on the season, scored 70 points for Jupiter. He's going to kick at the next level for sure. Does not have a home just yet, but there's absolutely no chance with some of the ways that we've seen college kicking go in the last couple of years. There's no chance that this guy isn't kicking somewhere in the college ranks.
Yeah, Brogan Weber, just an amazing guy. 1 PAT ever missed in his career. Probably shouldn't have missed that. That came in his sophomore year, but ever since then he's been perfect. 143 career points, as long as 59 yards. This dude has a cannon for a leg, and we haven't gotten to see him kick a field goal here today, but again, like you mentioned, he's perfect. Out comes the offense one more time here for the North squad, and they're going to be led by Wells Bettenhausen.
The North, basically one chance here.
There's Uriah Maynard from Eastridge High School. Oh, man, a big hit there. Oh, you got to love Chantrell Jenkins is taking over in this fourth quarter. Watch this.
Yeah, I mean, his team is up 35 points, and he's still laying hits like this in this game. There's a message to be sent here. Again, the South, a lot of the best players not coming, and a lot of the conversation was, the best players from the North are here because a lot of the best players in the South, Miami area, not super well represented because those teams are playing in state championships. But I think, again, these guys from Fort Myers, these guys from Tampa, these guys from the Palm Beach area, they got a lot to prove. Miami
How
tends
is Chantrell Jenkins not
I can't believe he's not signed.
Yeah.
And that, just another motivation for him as well. This is a guy that absolutely belongs on a college roster.
Bettenhausen back to pass, and he's going to be sacked. In there on the stop is big number 82, Ty Conzi from Plant.
And another big fella coming in, 6 foot, 230 pounds. Maybe a little bit undersized to be a defensive tackle at the next level, but if he can maybe shave a little weight, stay lean and add a little touch more muscle, could be a defensive end, I think, in the college ranks. Again, just such a productive player. It's hard to imagine a guy who can do so much not being on a college roster. By the way, though, the North, they've got 2.5 minutes to avoid being shut out. It would be the first time since 1959. The North beat the South 50-0, which is the largest margin of victory in the history of this game. Right now, we're tracking towards the second largest at 35-0.
3rd down and 10, and this one is complete. And it's Nash Bashirs from McClay who is able to get that completion.
Again, the North, pride on the line right now. trying to keep things moving. You got to get on the board. If you're these North players, you cannot let the South shut you out. As much as they've proven what they wanted about being the better side, you can't let this game end 35-0.
Jeremy Ware from Dunbar was able to make that tackle. Haven't called his name too much here today, but Jeremy Ware from Dunbar, 6 foot, 190-pounder. And here's Bettenhausen flushed off to his left, and he's going to run for it. And he's going to gain about 8 yards. He'll be out of bounds with about a minute 48 left in the game.
We got a flag on the play, I think, after Bettenhausen was out of bounds. We had a North player down on the ground. Looked like it was number 74, Keelan Washington, and a Walton, who was on the floor for a moment.
Catch a Chory Harris in there at the offensive line position from Edgewater.
Blindside block on the offense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. Replay first down.
So you got a blindside block, so that's going to march a couple of these back. Here's the replay on the blind side. Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that was Washington, who was down for a moment, that threw the block. And that's a huge penalty. Not only does it backs them up more than 15 yards, because 15 yards from the spot, which was behind the line of scrimmage. So they're going all the way into minus territory for the North. And now we've got another flag.
Keelan Washington is a 6'4", 275-pounder from Walton. And threw the block there, but he's a big body. You could definitely probably see him playing somewhere at some point.
And now Darian Jones getting sent off the field, it looks like, for the South.
Also out there, you see Luke Clower from Seabreeze. He's 6'5", 285 pounds. He's played a pretty good game. Really good-sized guard as well at 6'5".
And now apparently there was a penalty on the South team. And march that off, get them back to about the original line of scrimmage. And so after all of that, I think we're going to have another 1st and 10, assuming I've been keeping up correctly with what's been going on.
Who's impressed you the most?
Oh, man.
I mean, there's so many players, right?
It's really tough. Madrid Tucker, I mean, I really have loved watching Madrid Tucker today. He's another guy that I just cannot believe is not on a college roster already for next year. Oh, man.
Chantrell Jenkins.
Chantrell Jenkins, I mean, yeah, there's no question that guy belongs on a college roster next year. He's really taken over this game in the late stages. I've talked a lot about Lincoln Graff. I think a lot was put on his shoulders today, and I think that he's delivered in so many different ways. I think that he's really been outstanding. Things were not going well early. The South couldn't run the ball. Lincoln Graff takes it himself a few times, which really kind of opened things up for the running backs, which is what opened things up for the passing game. So I think everything on the offensive side really started with him, and obviously they've put up 35 points today. Man, it's hard to choose. You know, Lincoln Graff's been outstanding. I still think that with the 2 touchdowns, the big catches, Madrid Tucker could win game MVP here this afternoon.
That is their second of the half.
And so there was a penalty there. And they're just announcing the penalty. 1st down and 10 for the North. Still out there as well as Bettenhausen. Bettenhausen is committed to Lenoir-Rhyne, a NCAA Division II college. And then you also have Uriah Maynard from East Ridge High School from Claremont out there. And Uriah is committed to Wagner University. So excited to see what Uriah is able to do. Uriah is one of the best running backs to come through East Ridge High School, which East Ridge has had a couple of really good running backs the last couple of years, but Uriah has been terrific this season. Had over 1,200 yards rushing for East Ridge High School. 1st down and 10 for the North. Bettenhausen backs up to pass and looking for Uriah Maynard at the 30 and up to the 25, and he's brought down. That'll be a 1st down for the North.
A nice little one-handed grab right there by Uriah Maynard, Lee County native. See right here, this is just a simple little dump pass, and he's got to go out, snatch that with the one hand, and nothing, you know, not to discredit Wells Bettenhausen, you know, he had to dodge a paw from a defensive lineman right there to get that pass away.
Bettenhausen rolls off to his right. He's being chased down, and he's going to be out of play. He's being chased down by Jesse Wilson from Mariner.
Close. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage. It looks like they're marking him a yard short. They'll end up losing a yard on that play.
Now bring up a second down. Second down and 11 for the North. And boy, would they love to get into the end zone. 35-0. Been a long time since the North got shut out. Second down and 11. Bettenhausen. Jason McDaniel has come into the game, the running back. Spread formation. Bettenhausen back to pass. And a grab made there by Tyson Carter. He stays in bounds, though, so the clock continues to run. 1 minute remaining in the 69th annual FACA All-Star Game.
Just trying to keep things going here. Again, obviously the North is not going to punt or try for a field goal. Oh, maybe they'll try for the field goal with the wind at their backs, just try to put something on the scoreboard. But I'd be surprised if they didn't try to pick up a fourth down here if they don't convert on this play.
Third down and 5. Bettenhausen over the middle, and it's complete to Neptune. First down for the North, and they are inside the red zone for the first time today with 38 seconds remaining in the fourth.
Yeah, they have really struggled even just getting into this part of the field. Now we'll see how the red zone offense looks. The South defense has not had to play in the red zone yet today, but you know, a lot of coaches, a lot of players think it's easier once you do get down inside that zone.
Bettenhausen toward the end zone. Oh, it's bobbled and incomplete. That's Michael Rosen out of Swanee.
Almost a really good catch right there by Rawson. Just getting up there. That's the second time that we've seen. He had the one earlier that was called incomplete because they said he was out of bounds, but we saw on the replay that he had the foot in. And so right there, just couldn't hang on to that one through the contact and the continuation as he went down to the ground.
Second down and 10, 22 seconds remaining in the game. Bettenhausen trying to get the North on the scoreboard. Bettenhausen backs up to pass. Is going to find Rawson, and he's brought down shy. It's going to be a timeout taken here with 14 seconds to go, and it'll be a third down and 5.
Yeah, again, the South trying really hard to get into the end zone, or excuse me, the North trying really hard to get into the end zone before this game ends.
Please reset the game clock to 16 seconds.
They're going to put 16 seconds on the clock here, so if you get the first down, you maybe have enough time to run 2 more plays. But, yeah, they're up against it right here. I would say that you've probably got 2 plays to get in at this point.
Well, it's been such a fun afternoon here at the Villages Charter High School. Always fun to bring you this game. This is the 69th annual edition of the FACA All-Star Matchup. Drew Charltree alongside Kyle Coppola bringing you the action. I want to thank our technical director, Marty Zuro, for bringing the game coverage to you. Our amazing crew for bringing you the coverage. Of course, Cody Hills down field side. It's been fun to have him, and here we go. Third down and 5 with the North trying to get onto the board. They are down 35-0, going to lose the game, but they'd love to get on the board. You got Wells Bettenhausen in a shotgun formation, spread formation for the North. Bettenhausen also has Weinstead in there. Bettenhausen over the middle, and it's incomplete. The intended target was Rawson.
Well, now they're on fourth down. Again, you've got time for 2 plays, but they got to at least pick up the 5 yards here to have a chance for that last one.
12 seconds to go. Essentially the game right here.
The game at this point being whether or not they get shut
being
out.
The point that they get, 35 seconds, 35-0 with 12 seconds to go. But nonetheless,
if you just
try to get on the board.
If you just jumped in the third quarter, you would not believe how competitive and how close this game was in the first half.
Bettenhausen, and it's incomplete. And that'll be a turnover on downs. And for the first time in forever, the North is going to put a goose egg up.
Yeah,
and
65 years it's been since the team was shut out in this game. And so the South really coming out. Chartrell Jenkins just there almost had his second interception of the game. And I mean, you cannot say enough about how the South played over the second half of this game that the defense, by the way, the offense is going to get a lot of love because it scored 35 points. The defense, when the offense was trying to find its legs at the beginning, kept the North off balance, kept them from being able to do anything, shut them out in the first half, obviously, but bought time for the offense to get going. And then once the offense did get going, defense didn't let up. They only got better. 2 interceptions in the second half, multiple sacks, some huge plays, and really took over the game in the second half. Offense for the South been outstanding over the final 2 quarters. The defense has been outstanding the entire time. So I want to make sure that they get some love this afternoon.
South comes in, and it's the sweetest formation of them all. Graf will knee on the ball, and that will be how the game ends. So the South wins the 69th annual FACA All-Star Game. Drew, your final thoughts on this one?
Really outstanding by the South. Again, a lot of credit to Sammy Brown, both for how he managed the game today, but also for the approach that he had coming in, saying we're going to focus on the game plan. I'm going to trust these guys to figure it out. We're going to go into the bag. We're going to open up the playbook. We're going to run a lot of different stuff, and eventually it's going to work. He had that defense coached up today. He let the offense find its footing. I think that he trusted the guys on his team, and they rewarded him for that this week. A really outstanding job by the Dunbar head coach, and you can see why that program has been so strong over the last several years. I think that, again, the South came in not just better prepared, but a little bit more eager as well, and they maintained that throughout the game. So huge credit to them, huge credit to the players and the coaching staff on that side for being able to put up, again, a sort of historic game. We do not see this often in this game, and the South really came out and owned it from the jump.
Well, Drew, another wonderful edition of the FACA All-Star Games is in the book. When we come back next year, it'll be the 70th annual edition of this game.
How cool is that to say?
Isn't it cool? It's so much fun. This game is always great, always some great players that play in it, and it's been a lot of fun to bring you the coverage of it. For my broadcast partner, Drew Charltree, I'm Kyle Coppola. For our technical director, Marty Zuro, our entire crew, for Cody Hills, this is the final score, 35-0. The South wins the 69th annual FACA All-Star Game. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next year for the 70th edition of this wonderful game.
Is it live?
Attention, Shea Freitas, if you're still in the house. Shea Freitas, we have a debit card for you up here in the booth, right at the 50-yard line, home team side. Shea Freitas. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, we're going to name the MVPs of the North team first. On offense, Keelan Washington from Walton. And on defense for the North, MJ Adams from Florida High. Okay, now for the South team. On offense, Madrid Tucker from Fort Myers. And the South defensive player of the game, Chartel Jenkins from Cypress Lake. Thank you for coming, and drive safely.